A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry of the Circus. For Jerry of the Circus.
Hey, Jason, have you seen Mr. Randall?
No, but he should be here in a minute, Jerry.
Are you sure?
Yes, because he told me he wanted to catch my act this afternoon.
Yeah, so do I. Hey, how are you feeling, Jason?
Fine. Couldn't be better.
You did a swell job of covering up those bandages.
How do you like my headgear?
Well, looks like a costume with those long sleeves and everything. But, Jason, are you sure it's safe for you to go on?
You bet I'm sure. Listen, Jerry, I'm not taking any unnecessary risks. Now, you just stop worrying.
Gee, I sure wish Mr. Randall would hurry. I just got to see him.
Now what's bothering you?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, what do you want him for, then?
I mean, Jim Bennett yelled at me as I came by the ticket wagon and told me to get hold of Mr. Randall. He seemed awful excited, but he didn't say what it was all about.
That's funny.
Oh, so there you are, Jason. Welcome. Welcome back.
Hello, Boris.
I heard you were going to work today. That is good news. So I came over to see you.
That's very kind of you, Boris.
Oh, not at all. Always I appreciate the man who can carry on in the face of much trouble. You feel well, yes?
Fine, thank you.
Hey there, Jason. Glad you're back.
Thanks, Jeff.
Sure you packed stuff okay?
Good as new, thanks.
See? You can just tell how glad we are to have you back, safe and sound.
Yes, indeed. A man has to get into trouble to find out where his good friends are.
That's true, Boris. To be perfectly frank, I didn't realize how regular you were until, well, lately.
You see, my gruff Russian manners belie me.
Hey, you're on scene, Boris. Are you ready?
Oh, yes, I must see that everything is in readiness. I'll stand by during your turn, Jason.
Okay.
You know, I can't quite make him out, Jason.
I guess we just didn't take him right. He's got a quick temper. Underneath, well, from the looks of things, he seems to be a regular fellow.
Yeah, but, well, I don't know.
Well, this looks like a gathering of the clan.
Hey, that's right. Look, all the clowns and everyone hanging around the pad room.
That's funny. Anything else?
I'll say. Our favorite lion tamer's coming back into the ring.
Oh, I see. Well, Jerry's right, Jason. We'll all be here rooting for you.
Well, say, I guess I'd better get over there. I'm on in a few minutes. See you later, Mr. Randall.
All right.
Yeah, I never saw Jason embarrassed before.
Yes. He's a modest person, Jerry. Most big people are.
Jiminy Crickets, I almost forgot.
Well, now what?
I got a message for you.
Oh, for me? Well, I guess it can wait till after. Oh, yeah, there goes Jason now.
I don't know. He was awful excited and said to be sure to tell you quick and have you come right over to see him. He seemed awful excited, Mr. Randall.
What are you talking about, Jerry?
Jim Bennett.
Good afternoon, Mr. Randall.
Oh, howdy, boys. Well, what's it all about, Jerry?
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I interrupting something?
Oh, no. Jerry was just trying to give me a message. Well, out with it, son.
Oh, that's all I know. Mr. Bennett just said for you to get over his ticket wagon fast. Something awful had happened.
Well, I wonder what...
It can probably wait. Better watch our brave friend Jason first, Mr. Randall?
Yes, I guess you're right.
Gee, it sure is great having him back.
And all in one piece.
I'll say.
Yeah. wonder what's on Jim Bennett's mind. He's not the sort of person that gets excited over nothing.
Gee whiz, is there anything more thrilling than a field full of mixed cats and a
You're
lion?
forgetting about blooded horses.
Here. Now, no professional jealousy, Boris.
It's only jesting. It's a different kind of a thrill. Jason takes the wild vicious brute and bends him to his will. Man victorious over animal.
I'll say he does.
And I take an intelligent, sensitive animal and train him like an artist. I create a unit. Man and horse.
Yeah, that's very well put, Boris. The two types of work can't be compared, of course.
Gee, I sure missed that fire act with Street.
Oh, so do I. Yes, it broke my heart to pack that panther off to the zoo.
So you did send a black curie on to a zoo, huh?
Yes, he'll never be good for the ring again. However, he may live to a ripe old age in the zoological gardens. Certainly, thousands of people will still have the thrill of seeing him.
Yeah, black panthers are as scarce as... well, as scarce as...
Hen's teeth, huh?
Yeah.
Well, looks like Jason's doing all right. Well, perhaps I'd better get on over and see what Bennett's got in his mind.
I'll come by there as soon as Jason's through and tell you how things went, Mr.
Oh, I do that, Jerry.
I'll walk with you. I'm headed for my wagon to get Nicholas for a lap.
All right, good. Well, Boris, how are things going with your troop? Everything satisfactory?
We Russoffs are keeping ourselves pretty busy.
That's fine. Everything okay with Whitey?
Yes, since that last misunderstanding, things are all smooth and friendly.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's the best way to get along with folks.
You're right, Mr. Randall. Well, this is where I stop.
All right. I'll be seeing you, Boris.
Hey, Mr. Randall, quick. Hey, Jim Bennett's having a fit. He says he's got to see you right away.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. I heard he wanted me and was heading for his wagon.
Peanuts, chewing gum, get your peanuts
Mr. Randall!
here and feed the
Mr.
elephant.
Randall!
Hello. Yeah, hello there, Jim. I hear you're looking for me.
I'll say. I'd about given up, too. I finally got one of the men to handle a ticket wagon and came for you myself.
Say, this must be pretty important if you'd leave your job like that.
It is. Say, where can we talk?
Well, we may as well stop by the office wagon. It's quiet there.
Okay, boss.
Well, what's up? I hope it's not serious.
Better wait till we get inside your wagon. It's plenty serious.
No, not a hold-up or anything like that.
Hold up is right, but not the kind you're thinking of.
Well, you're building this into quite a mystery, Jim.
Well, here's the office wagon. Let's go in.
All right. Okay, Jim. Here we are. All right, now we're alone. Out with it. What's this all about?
A strike.
What?
That's it, boss. It looks like we're going to have a strike.
What in the world are you talking about?
Now, wait a second till I show you this letter.
Why, who ever heard of a circus having a strike?
Here, read this. I found it under my door.
Not signed. Well, now let's see what this is all about. We want more money. That goes for the canvas men and the roustabouts. All of us. And if we don't get it, we won't work. And how will you move your show without us? So I guess you are stuck and had better come across.
Sounds like they mean business.
I wonder if the staker's in on this thing. Have you checked with Murray?
Yeah, first thing. He says he heard the men complaining some, but he's as surprised as we are.
How long have they been grumbling, did he know?
Oh, he said just the last day or so. Probably due to all the extra work we had after that cyclone.
A strike in a circus. It's ridiculous. Every showman knows the show's got to go on. The public mustn't be disappointed.
You wouldn't catch the performers pulling a stunt like this.
I do as much, if not more, for my men than most owners. I'll wager there's more behind all this than meets the eye.
You got the reputation for being the squarest shooter in the circus business, Mr. Randall.
If I could just know who's behind this scheme.
Oh, if I could just lay my hands on him.
I can't believe this is just a regular strike.
Murray's as much as surprised as we are.
Oh, so he's not sympathetic with this thing, huh?
What? That Irishman? Say, you should have heard him.
I wonder who wrote this note.
If I knew, I'd skin him alive. Well, what are we going to do, boss?
I wish I knew.
What about loading the show tonight?
Oh, don't worry. It'll be done.
But they say there'll be no work done.
Yes, there will. And if they don't do it, I'll...
What?
I don't know yet. But I'll have to work fast. I can see that.
But what can we do, boss?
Well, I'm not sure yet, but...
Of all times for a thing like this to happen.
Yeah. What with all that expense we've just been through, thanks to that twister, and now that $25,000 note to be met by the end of the month.
We can pay it okay if we do average business and there's no setbacks.
Yeah. I wonder.
What's up, boss?
Nothing. I just got an idea.
Say, you're not thinking of meeting their demands.
You mean giving this raise?
Yeah.
I should say not. They get all they're entitled to. You know that. If I give in to this just because we're in a jam, I'd fall prey to every racket that could be thought of in a circus.
Most of these men don't think any further than their noses.
Yeah.
They don't realize you're giving them all you can and still keeping the circus going every year.
Yeah. They forget the expenses go on during the winter regardless of no income.
Hey, Ray, this way. Come on. We got to go see Mr. Randall.
Why, that sounds like Jerry.
Yeah, it is. He's been watching Jason. He said he'd come back here after the act and tell me how it went.
Well, that's right. Jason did go on today.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Randall, you in there?
Yeah, come right in, Jerry.
Gee, Mr. Randall, it went off swell. Sure was a corker, wasn't it, Ray?
No trouble then, huh?
I'll say not. I talked to Jason afterwards, and he said to tell you he feels fine.
Good. He's a good man. Isn't everyone who'd insist on working after getting messed up the way he did?
Golly, I sure hope I'll be like him when I grow up.
Yeah, you got a pretty good start, Jerry.
Thanks, Mr. Bennett.
Jerry, close the door, please.
Okay, Mr. Randall.
Jerry.
Yes, Mr. Randall?
How's your bump of detective instinct coming along?
Well, I don't know, Mr. Randall. I haven't had much chance to use it lately.
Well, I might be able to put you on to something.
What? A mystery? Oh, say, that's swell.
Well, not exactly the kind you're thinking of, but there's some trouble brewing, and I don't know but what you might be the ideal person to do a little super sleuthing for me.
Oh, say, that'd be swell.
Hey, you don't mean on this business we've been talking about, boss?
That's exactly what I do mean. A boy can wander about and do a little listening without their paying any attention to him. While if you or I were around, they'd all shut up like clams.
Ah, well, maybe you're right.
Say, this sounds keen. What's it all about?
Well, if you do this, Jerry, I'll have to trust you not to talk about it with anyone.
Sure, anything you say. Oh, gee, Mr. Randall, you know you can trust me.
Yeah, all right. Now, this is the situation. For some reason or other, some of the men are planning a strike.
A strike?
Yeah. They threaten to stop work if I don't raise their wages.
You don't mean they let the circus down?
Apparently, that's exactly what they do mean.
I never heard of such a thing.
Well, nor I, but I suppose there's always a first time.
Say, who's doing this?
Well, that's what I'd like to know. Now, if you'll spend your spare time around the canvas men and the stakers...
Yeah, and the workmen, you know.
Yeah, any of them, and try and find out what's going on without asking questions. Just listen.
Sure, I know. If I start asking questions, they might know that I'm onto it.
That's it, Jerry. But keep your ears open, and perhaps you might find out who's inciting the men.
Inciting?
Yeah, you know, stirring them up, getting them to strike.
Oh, well, maybe they won't really do it. Maybe it's just a threat.
Well, that's possible. In that case, we'll call their bluff. But if it's real, we'll have to be prepared.
Golly, you couldn't put up the show without the roustabouts and the rest of the workers.
It'd certainly be tough. We could hire the stakers in each town, though it would cost a lot. But the canvas men, it'd be pretty difficult to find untrained men who could put up all the canvas.
Say, I'll get right onto this, Mr. Randall.
All right, and remember, Jerry, don't talk.
You bet. But I'll keep my ears to the ground. And if there's anything to be heard, you can just bet that I'll get it.
Let's go out to Jack Benny's house in Beverly Hills, where Jack is taking his violin lesson from his same old teacher, Professor LeBlanc. No, Mr. Benny, no. I'm sorry, Professor. Perhaps you are not ready for that yet. Oh, but I am, Professor. Look, I'll show you. Darn it, my fingers slipped off. It should be your head. What? Come, let us go back to the exercises. I'll count for you. Hello. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Play it gently, do not kick it. This would make Petrillo pick it. Play it smoother, not so jerky. This could make me lose my turkey. I wish I was someplace else. Please give me an Alka-Seltzer. What did I do wrong? You are gripping the violin too tight around the neck. Stop it. It gives me ideas. Oh, well, I'll try the first one again. Very well. Hello. La, 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 la. Blink, 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 blink. La, 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 la. I think you stink. No, Mr. Benny, please play something else. But, Professor, at the end of last week's lesson, you yourself suggested the Blue Danube to jump into, not to play. Now, Professor, listen, I'm paying you good money to come here.
Hardly, boss, but you weren't on the phone.
Okay. Now, don't go away, Professor. My lesson still has 2 more minutes to go. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. What a man. He even stops the watch during the 8-bar rests. Rochester, I would like to ask you a favor.
A favor? What is it?
My ankle hurts me. Will you please loosen this chain a little?
All right. I'll try. You know, Professor, your ankles are exactly my size.
How do you know?
That's the same chain I wore the first 5 years I worked here.
What?
I'm a trustee now.
I cannot understand, Mr. Benny. But then life is full of so many surprises.
What do you mean, Professor?
Well, I remember when I came to America 15 years ago. I was standing on the deck as the boat steamed into New York Harbor. Then I saw her, the Statue of Liberty. The gift that my country, Le Belle France, gave to your country, the glorious America. As I looked at the statue, a lump came into my throat. I realized what it stood for. Liberty. Freedom. I reached out my arms and walked. I walked towards it.
Oh, I should have warned you. Your chain is only 5 feet long.
Liberty, freedom. Okay, Professor. Let's finish the lesson. Rochester, go back in the kitchen and fix dinner.
Yes, sir. Should I set a plate for Professor LeBlanc?
No, I'm giving him the money this time. So, Mr. Benny, let us resume the lesson. Go ahead, play.
The Blue Danube?
No, the exercises. Go ahead. Hello. No. Not so jazzy. Monsieur. Mr. Benny. Wait a minute. Something wrong, Professor? No, nothing is wrong. Only the lesson, she is finished. Pay me.
Okay, Professor. I'll have to go down in my vault and get the money.
And please don't keep me waiting like you did the last time.
I won't. Oh, Professor, would you please answer the door?
The chain.
Oh, yes.
I'll answer it.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Oh, hello, Dennis. Come on in. Say, Dennis, I was going to call you. I heard your program Thursday night, and I thought you were swell.
Gee, thanks. And I heard you on Phil Baker's quiz program last week.
You did, kid? Really?
Yeah. Boy, were you stupid.
Dennis, the questions on Phil Baker's program were very difficult. Anyway, I answered all but the last one.
You sure fool a lot of people.
What?
You don't look stupid. How you ever got to be my boss, I'll never know.
Look, kid, besides starting an argument, what did you come over here for anyway?
Well, you always want to hear my song before I do it on the program.
Well, all right, let's hear it.
Okay. Why don't he stay home instead of going on quiz program?
Damn it! Now go ahead and sing your song. No wonder my hair is gray. That was all right, Dennis. That song will do for the program.
How about some lunch?
You can eat when you get home. Now, Dennis...
Mr. Benny, please, I am waiting for my money.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Dennis, this is Professor LeBlanc, my violin teacher.
He's your violin teacher?
Please. Not so loud. I'm trying to keep it a secret.
What?
That's why I come in overalls, so people will think I am diploma.
Oh, Professor, don't be so temperamental. I'll go and get you your money. La, 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 la. Clink, 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 clink. La, 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 la. I do not. La, la, bum, bum, bum. I'll get it.
Hello, Jack. I'm here.
Mary, where are you?
Right in front of you.
Oh, well, brush off the fog and let me see you. Come on in. Gee, I'm glad to see you, Mary. When did you get back from Palm Springs?
I just drove in just this minute.
Well, welcome home. Come here. Let me kiss you.
Oh, Jack.
I can't help it, Mary. I haven't seen you for 2 whole weeks.
Jack.
Now, don't try to pull away.
Jack, please, you're getting my ring all wet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gee, I'm happy you're back. Come on, Mary. Let me carry you into the house.
Oh, Jack, stop being silly.
I'm not being silly. I just want to carry you in. I haven't seen you in so long. Come on, let me carry you in. Up the daisy.
Shall we walk?
Mary, have you gained weight?
1 pound.
I thought so. Oh, Rochester!
Yes, boss.
Rochester, hang up, Miss Livingston.
Oh, hello, Miss Livingston.
Hello, Rochester.
Welcome home, Miss Livingston. Welcome home. The old plantation hasn't been the same since the day you went away.
Plantation?
Now that you're back, we'll be sitting around the old cabin door, a-singing and a-strumming the old banjos in the moonlight. And as the sun sets on the cotton fields, there'll be joy in the hearts as we gather beneath the old magnolias.
Rochester, put down that mint julep and take her coat.
Yes, Colonel, sir.
What's the matter with Rochester?
He found some wild mint in the backyard and tamed it. Well, tell me, Mary, did you have a real good time in Palm Springs?
Oh, I sure did, Jack.
Did you miss me?
Gee, the first day I got there, Gregory Peck took me out to dinner. And the next morning I went swimming with Van Johnson.
Did you miss me?
That same afternoon I played golf with Clark Gable. And last Saturday, Robert Taylor and I went horseback riding.
Did you miss me?
All day Monday I was on a picnic with Gary Cooper. And that night I went dancing with Jerome Power.
Mary, did you miss me?
Well, of course I missed you.
Oh.
You know, I always hate to be away from you, Jack. Jack, what's the last name again, Bob?
Spiegelmeyer. Cosmo Spiegelmeyer. And you don't... and listen, and you don't have to be so smart. You know, when you were gone, I wasn't exactly sitting home knitting.
Oh, no? Where'd you get that sweater?
I finished that before you even left. Thought you had me there, didn't you? Come on in the other room and tell me all
Hey,
about...
Mr. Benny, now that you've heard my song, can I...
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Mr. Benny, now that you've heard my song, can
Dennis, Mary said hello to you. Why don't you answer?
I'm mad at her.
Mad at me? Why?
Oh, because last week when he came on the program, he said hello to you and you didn't answer him.
Oh, but that's silly, Dennis. When you said hello to me, you were here, and I was in Palm Springs, so I couldn't answer you.
Did you see anybody in Palm Springs you knew?
Yes, a lot of people.
Did they say hello to you?
Oh, certainly.
Did you answer them?
Of course.
Well, I'm as good as they are.
Look, Dennis.
Wait a minute, Jack. I'll fix this up right now. Come here, Dennis. I'm going to give you a kiss. Come here. There. Now, Dennis, are you still mad at me?
You're just after my money.
What?
Well, who cares about money?
Dennis, I don't know what's come over you lately. Every time.
I'll get it, boss.
Okay.
Mr. Benny's guest star, stage, screen, radio, will start delivering the Herald Express again tomorrow. Who's calling, please?
This is Phil Harris, star of Stage Screen Radio and associate editor of the Hobo News. Come on, Jessica, let me talk to Mr. Bennett.
Okay. It's for you, boss. It's Mr. Harris.
Thanks. Hello, Phil. What do you want?
Look, Jetson, when I got my own program, you and I made a little deal, didn't we?
Yes?
Well, I sent you the bottles of Fit shampoo. Where are my lucky strikes?
Well, Phil, the reason I didn't send you the Lucky Strikes is because you promised me 12 bottles of Fit shampoo and you only sent me 8.
I sent you 12.
You sent me 8.
I sent you 12, one for each hair.
Well, next week, make it 13. I'm expecting.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Okay, Phil, I'll send you the 6 cartons of Lucky Strikes tomorrow.
Our deal was for 10 cartons.
10?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Jack. No, this is Phil.
This is Jack. Who are you?
Don Wilson.
Oh, hello, Don. Are you at Phil's house?
No, I'm home. I dialed your number and got cut in.
Oh, well, look,
Hey, how
Don.
about my lucky strike? They're so round, so firm, so fully
John,
packed.
wait a minute. Don, Phil's talking to me.
I'm talking to who?
To me.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Only 4 pounds delivered to the back door.
4 pounds of lucky strikes?
I'm going to the butcher.
Rochester, where are you?
I'm on the extension in the kitchen.
Well, Rochester, hang up. I'm talking to Phil.
What about me?
Don, get off the phone. Where did they come from?
Hello?
Oh, goodbye. You know, Mary, the most peculiar... Hello?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I can't understand.
Mr. Benny, please. I am waiting for my money.
In a minute, Professor. In a minute.
Jack, why don't you give Professor LeBlanc his money?
I'm going down to the ball to get it.
Well, I'll lend it to you. Here, all I have is a $20 bill.
Well, I haven't got change.
Maybe I can help. I've got an $18 bill.
An $18 bill. Right.
I know, but I'm not going to tell the jerk.
That's right. Don't tell him. Now, Professor, I'll get your money. Let's see. How much do I owe you? I didn't pay you for the last lesson and the one before that. And,
3 before that.
Oh, yes. Altogether, I think it comes to about...
It is 7 lessons.
Professor, I'm sure I owe you for 6.
No, I am positive it is 7. I only weigh 110 pounds.
110 pounds? What's that got to do with it?
The last time you paid me, I weighed 180 pounds, and I lose 10 pounds a lesson.
Okay, Professor.
You are going to get the money and pay me?
No, he's going to get the scales and weigh you.
going to the ball.
Who goes there? Friend or foe? Oh, it's you, Mr. Benny.
Yes.
Well, nice to see you again. How are things on the outside?
Fine. It's winter now, you know. And by the way, we recently had an election, and the Republicans won in nearly all the 48 states.
We have 48 of them now?
Yes, since 1912. Ed, light a candle for me, will you, so I can see what I'm doing? Ed, I asked you to light a candle.
I'm looking for the flint.
Oh, we have matches now. Here. Hold it up a little. Say.
What's the matter?
Up there in the corner, what's that hole in the wall? Did somebody try to break into my vault?
Oh, no, Mr. Benny. That happened when I first came down here.
It did?
Yes. Some man was digging a tunnel and got in here by mistake.
Gee, that's funny. I wonder who it was.
Well, I don't know, but he mumbled something about being Monte Cristo.
Well, I better open the safe now. Now, let's see. The combination is right to 45, left to 60, back to 15, and left to 110. There. Sounds kind of weak. I guess Rochester must be running my mixmaster. Now, let's see there. I guess that'll be enough money. Well, so long, Ed. See you in the spring.
Goodbye, Mr. Benny.
John L. Lewis ever hears about Ed, I'm sunk. Well, here's your money, Professor LeBlanc.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benny.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Goodbye, monsieur.
Oh, I forgot to unchain you. Here, I'll unlock it. There.
Thank you. You are so kind. Liberty! Freedom!
Oh, Mary! Dennis! I guess they went home. Well, I think I'll go in and practice a little more before dinner. Rochester, see who that is.
Yes, sir. Oh, boss, it's Mr. Phil Baker.
Phil Baker, what does he want?
Hello, Jack.
Phil, what are you doing here?
Jack, I have to stay in California longer than I thought, and I've been having an awful time trying to find an apartment.
Well, isn't that too bad?
What's the matter, Jack?
The way you treated me on your program. You expect me to give you a room? How'd you like to sleep on an old park bench?
I don't care how you've got it furnished. I'll take it.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get it.
Jack, you've got no reason to get sore at me. If you had answered the last question on my program correctly, I would have given you the $64.
But that was such a tough question. Nobody could answer it. I'll bet that... Hey, wait a minute. I did answer that correctly, and you owe me $64.
You did not answer it correctly.
I didn't. Ask me the same question again. Go ahead, Baker. Ask me.
Okay. Paderewski was one of 50 contestants in a musical contest.
Uh-huh.
And Paderewski was the winner.
Go on.
Now, my question was, can you name the 49 losers?
That's right. And what did I say?
You said, no, I can't.
That's the correct answer. I can't name them and give me the $64. Now, come on, give me the dough.
Okay. Here.
Thanks. Now, Phil, in television, that would have been good. Now, Phil, I got a little practicing to do, so I'll see you again sometime.
But, Jack, I'm really up against it. I haven't got a place to live. Can't you help a pal out with a room?
Well, let's see. Hey, I've got an idea. You can sleep in the... No, Ed likes to be alone. I'm sorry, Phil, I have no vacancy. Now, if you'll excuse me, I want to finish practicing.
I don't need a room that's classy. All last week I slept with Lassie.
Phil, please. I'm trying to practice and stop scratching yourself.
Well, Jack, let me practice with you on my accordion.
Your accordion? Phil, do you always carry that with you?
Sure. And say, Jackson, the left side of Vine Street is hot this week.
What?
You know, the Christmas spirit and everything.
Oh, yes, my agent told me. Now, Phil, will you please let me practice?
Okay, go ahead.
Phil, please let me practice.
Oh, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, many communities are still collecting food to help save the lives of millions of men, women, and children in Europe who are starving. We here in America are the best-fed nation in the world, and we are asked to make a voluntary sacrifice for those unfortunate people. All Americans should understand that this is not charity, not a gift. Every ounce of wheat and fats, every ounce...
Representing the National Broadcasting Company.
Good health to all from Rexall. Yes, it's Sunday. Time for the Phil Harris-Alice Faye Show. Presented by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists. Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist taking a little time from behind the prescription counter this Sunday evening to speak for all 10,000 of us. The 10,000 independent druggists who have added the word Rexall to our own store names. You can always tell us by the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. The sign means that we carry the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. They range all the way from aspirin to penicillin, and they're as fine and pure and dependable as science can make them. We independent druggists recommend them to our customers because we know you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall. Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris-Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. Today is Father's Day. And in the Harris menage, Phil reigns supreme.
This is his day to be king. And as we look in, he's taking advantage of it.
Daddy, we've been waiting on you hand and foot all morning, and I'm getting tired.
Please. Just keep my rocker going at a nice, steady clip. And Phyllis, you're getting negligent.
What's wrong, Maharaja?
My Turkish water pipe needs a refill. This is the life. One daughter rocking me, the other one tending my pipe, and look at me, loyal and faithful wife.
Oh, may I stop dancing now, Sultan?
Yeah, you can all stop. I'm ready now.
Ready for what?
You may all lay your gifts at my feet. Chop, chop. Let's go. I hope my loyal subjects have something worthy of their lord and master.
Oh, we have, Master. Just sit on that scale.
What for?
We're giving you your weight in ham hocks.
Alice, this is no time for a hickory smoke joke. Father's Day is a day of reverence. As I sit here and gaze upon my family, I can only think...
Get out of that rocking chair, Father. You look like Whistler's mother. We've had everybody in the house waiting on you, including little Andy, and we're getting...
Oh, by the way, where is little Andy?
He's upstairs. Daddy, why is Andy living with us? Who is he?
Andy is the little French orphan who can't speak English and last week was sent to Frankie by mistake and is now living with us because Frankie can't adopt him until he gets married, and that ought to explain things to anybody who went to the beach last Sunday and didn't hear our program.
When is Uncle Frankie going to get married?
As soon as he finds a nice girl who's willing to become his wife. And with Uncle Frankie, that's going to take a long time. Now, look, girls, go upstairs and tell Andy to come down for his lunch.
Alice, you know, ever since Andy came into Frankie's life, he's been a changed man. You know, he's gone all out for that kid. You know, Andy only speaks French, so you know what Remley's been doing? He's been going to night school to learn the language.
Well, if I know Frankie, he'll give that up soon.
No, I don't think so, honey. He said he's crazy about the language. And besides, his French teacher's a cute brunette. He said she's got flashing black eyes and a smooth olive complexion, ruby red lips, and a figure that... Hey, Alice, as long as the kid's living with us, maybe I ought to take French lessons.
I'm sure that's just what you need, dear. He spells blood B-L-U-D, and he wants French lessons yet. So that's why Frankie's studying French, just because his teacher has a nice figure,
That's not so. He wants to learn the language for Andy's sake. He wants to be able to talk to the kid and... Coming! Oh, hiya, Frankie.
Buenas noches, senor, senorita. Hasta la vista, gracias.
Frankie, what are you doing? You go to night school to learn French and you come in speaking German.
Bill, he's speaking Spanish.
What's the difference? They're both Asiatic countries. Remley, I thought you went to night school to learn French.
I did.
Well, what happened?
The Spanish teacher has a nicer shape. Well, where's my boy Andy? Can't wait to see him. This is the first Father's Day in which I've had an active part.
Oh, here comes Andy. And look, Frankie, he has a Father's Day present for you.
Bonjour, Papa.
Hiya, son.
Papa, vous m'avez manqué beaucoup. Je suis chanté au vous voir.
Ah, you're just saying that.
Andy, give your father the present you got for him.
And don't forget the little speech I taught you, you know.
Oui. Papa, happy Father's Day.
Hey, did you hear that? He said Happy Father's Day. He said as plain as anything. Oh, I'm so proud of you, boy. Here, have a cigar, son.
Well, don't stand there, Frankie. Open your present.
Oh, yeah. I think he bought me a present, too. I don't know what. Oh, gee, look. It's a gift certificate for 10 guitar lessons. Guitar lessons? What are you, a little wise guy or something?
Don't blame him. I picked it out. I figured it was something you could use.
Oh. Should have known my boy wouldn't do that to me.
Papa, you like?
Sure. Listen to him talk English. Where did he learn it?
I've been teaching him. Sure. He knows more than that. Get a load of this, Remley. Hey, Andy, you think your papa and me are nice guys, don't you?
Oui. Ain't I?
Ain't I? What kind of English you teaching my son?
That's not what I taught him. He just made a mistake. Look, Andy, you don't say ain't I. I told you when you're referring to more than one person, you use the plural. Ain't yous.
That's better. I want my son to get a good education.
Oh, brother, with you two guiding Andy, he won't even be eligible for reform school.
Alice, please. With me as his tutor, that lad can't go amiss. I've even been teaching him arithmetic, too, Frankie. It was kind of tough because, well, he don't speak English, but I found a way. Hey, wait till you hear him add. Monsieur, listen closely. How much is ta and ta? That's French for how much is 2 and 2.
Merci beaucoup.
Now, come on, Andy. How much is 2 and 2?
Thank you, Trigger. The idea of teaching him to stomp it out like a horse.
That was very good, Andy. Here's your reward.
Oh, so that's what's been happening to all my lump sugar. Phil, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for teaching a little
Andy and
boy.
me were only kidding, Frankie. Look, I taught him to add the right way. Andy, how much is 2 and 2?
4.
And how much is 3 and 3?
6.
And what is 6 and 6?
Podcast.
What are you teaching, little Andy? Son, it's a good thing you're coming to live with me tomorrow.
Oh, Frankie, he can't live with you. The authorities said you can't have him until you get married.
Alice, I have news for you. Tomorrow is my wedding day.
Oh, Frankie, that's wonderful.
Congratulations. Who's the lucky girl?
I don't know yet.
Frankie, how can you get married tomorrow if you don't even know who the girl is? Marriage is a serious thing. You have to use the utmost care in selecting a wife.
Oh, I know. I'm being very careful in selecting my future mate. The girl I marry must have charm, breeding, dignity, education. There's only one way to find a wife with all those qualifications, and I've taken the proper steps.
What'd you do?
I put an ad in the Police Gazette.
Frankie, you advertised for a wife in the Police Gazette?
If you like a girl who's well-traveled, you could put an ad in the Hobo News.
Don't be silly. I don't want a wife who'll run away every time she hears a train whistle.
Come on, Andy. I'll call the girls and we'll all have lunch together.
Lunch? Eh bien, merci beaucoup.
That's both cup, Andy. Kid don't even know his own language.
Hey, Frankie.
What?
Are you serious? Did you really put an ad in the paper for a wife?
Yeah, it's in this morning's paper. Here's a copy. I worded it very carefully.
Let me see that.
Help yourself.
Wife wanted by young, handsome, talented bachelor. All women who are interested in this bargain should apply early, as I expect a large crowd. Signed Phil Harris. Phil Harris! Frankie, what's the idea of signing my name to this ad?
I figure I get a better class of girls this way. Or will I? Charlie, when the dames see this ad, I guarantee they'll be lined up all around the block.
But suppose Alice sees the ad.
She'll have to get in line with the rest of them.
Look, Remley, I don't want Alice to know about this. You got a lot of nerve signing my name and address to this ad. There'll be a million dames around here fighting to get at me, mobbing me, begging me to marry them.
What's wrong with that?
I went through it once, and I don't want to go through it again. Poor girls. They'll come here expecting to marry me, and they'll wind up with you. That's like ordering champagne and getting a short beer. With no head. Remley, what time will this ad appear in the paper?
The guy said the paper'd be on the stands at 11 o'clock. It's 11:30 now. They ought to start coming soon.
Oh, no. Well, look, Frankie, we got to prepare for this. You barricade the windows, and I'll reinforce the doors, and I'll call the riot squad. By high noon, my name will draw the biggest mob of women that you ever saw. You wait and see.
Hey, Curly. Not a single girl has shown up yet.
Well, give them time. It's only 5 o'clock. Can't understand it. Can the Harris name be losing its tantalizing allure?
Guess you're slipping, Curly.
Yeah, and it's very embarrassing. I wouldn't feel so bad if just one young woman would show. Or an old woman. Or an old man. Or a Shetland pony.
Or an old Essex. Now, look, Curly, this is serious. If I don't find a wife by tomorrow, they'll take Andy away from me. Some guy from the Children's Welfare Society has been trying to get in touch with me all day, but I managed to dodge him.
Are you fellas going to sit in here all day? You've been here since 12 o'clock. What are you waiting for?
Oh, waiting. Yeah, we're waiting. Yeah, we're waiting for Guy Lombardo to come on the air. See, he's replacing us on the Rexall show for the summer.
But we still have 2 programs to do. Lombardo doesn't start till July 3rd.
I know, but he's out in his speedboat, and it'll take 2 weeks to catch him.
Hey, how are they going to stop him?
I'll get Carmen to stand on the shore and blow taps. Now be quiet and let the doorbell ring. Thank you.
I'll get it.
No, honey, I'd better get that.
No, now, never mind. You just sit there and rest, Father. This is your day. Oh, hello.
How do you do? Are you the party that advertised for a wife?
Did I? Oh, no, you must be looking for Frankie Remley.
Oh, no, that's not the name. The man who's looking for a wife is Phil Harris.
Oh, no. No, that's impossible. Look, miss, there's been a mistake. You can't marry Mr. Harris. You see, I'm Mrs. Harris, and he belongs to me.
You mean you won't let Phil marry me?
Of course not.
Oh, when it comes to giving up your sons, you mothers are all alike.
I am not his mother.
Hey, Alice, if that's for me, I...
Oh, you must be the lucky fella. I came in answer to the ad.
You? Hey, Curly, there's somebody here to see about your ad.
What are you talking about? What do you mean, my ad? Oh, I see what you mean.
Say, which one of you 2 advertised for a wife?
He did.
Frankie, don't try to back out of this. Miss, this is the man who advertised, Mr. Remley, right here.
Oh, thank goodness. He's much better looking than the other one.
You think he's better looking than... Oh, Remley, don't get too close to this dame. I don't know what she's got, but it ain't good.
Well, mister, what do you think of me? That fits your qualifications for a wife?
Well, you see, lady, well, that is a...
Look, don't keep me waiting. I got other advertisements, you know, to answer. Stop procrastinating. If you don't want me, just say you don't want to marry me.
Okay, I don't want to marry you.
Remley, you'd better marry her. She's the only one that showed up.
Do we all have to talk this way?
Well, what's gonna be? You don't want me, so I'll leave so.
So somebody's holding you back, maybe. Goodbye.
Wait a minute, lady. Hey, Remley, come here a minute, will you?
What do you want?
Don't you realize, look, she's the only dame that showed up, and if you want to keep Andy, you'll have to marry her. It's for Andy's sake.
Then let him marry her. No, he better not. He's too young for a shock like that. I guess I'll have to do it.
Good boy. Now go on. Ask her to marry you.
Hey, lady, will you marry me? And remember, I won't take yes for an answer.
Frankie.
Don't worry, mister. If he stands on his head, he won't get a note from me. Now that you asked me to marry you, just sign here.
Sign? You mean I got to sign a contract?
You said it. When you look like me, you don't take a man's word for it.
All right, I'll sign it. Look, we're getting married tonight in Las Vegas.
Oh, how romantic. I'll go home right now and pack.
Yeah. And we're flying, so don't forget your broomstick. Oh, brother. I haven't seen a face like that since I stopped drinking Bach beer.
Frankie, maybe the girl isn't pretty, but she seems all right. You'll get accustomed to her, and who knows, you might even fall in love with her.
Alice, stop. You're making me nauseous. I could never fall in love with her.
Oh, that's what I said about Phil when I first met him. But I forced myself.
Alice.
Now look at me. I'm as corny as Kansas in August. I'm as normal as blueberry pie. No more a sweet little girl with no heart. I have found me a wonderful guy. I am in a conventional dither with a conventional star in my eye. And you will note there's a lump in my throat when I speak of that wonderful guy. I'm as bright and as gay as a daisy in May, a cliche coming true. I'm bromidic and bright as the moon, happy night pouring light on the dew.
She's as corny as Kansas in August, high as the flag on the 4th of July.
If you'll excuse an expression I use, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a wonderful guy.
She's as bright and as gay as a daisy in May, a cliche coming true. She's bromidic and bright as the moon, happy night pouring light on the dew.
I'm as corny as Kansas in August, high as the flag on the 4th of July. If you'll excuse an expression I use, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a wonderful guy.
Curly, I've been thinking about that dame. The way she looks. I can't go through with this marriage.
But you got it. You signed a contract, remember?
Oh, Frankie, she may not look like much, but looks are only skin deep. Underneath, she's probably a very lovely person.
How can I be sure?
Skin her sometime and have a look. Frankie, there comes a time in every guy's life when he simply has...
Where's Francis? I have news. Oh, there you are, Francis. Wait till you hear what I have to tell you.
Well, if it isn't Blythe's spirit. This kid came up like thunder across the bay.
What do you want me, Willie?
The Children's Welfare Society has been trying to contact you all day.
Yeah, I know. I've been ducking them. What do they want?
They've been investigating, and they found out that Andy has an aunt and uncle in Chicago, and they're coming to take him home with them.
They can't do this to me. It's Father's Day. Little Andy gave me a present. If they take my son away, I'll have to give it back to him.
Frankie, I'm glad Andy has relatives. We'll all miss him, but it's much better this way.
Well, how about me? I made plans for the future. If they take Andy away, I'll be all alone.
No, you won't. You'll be married to that lovely sea lion.
Oh, no. I promised to marry that dame, and now there's no reason to. I got to get out of it.
I got news for you. It's going to be tough to get that contract back you signed.
Wait a minute. I got an idea. I didn't tell her about Andy. When she comes back, I'll tell her I got a son who's an awful brat and impossible to live with.
That ain't gonna work. You got better sense than that.
Come on.
When she meets Andy, she'll see that he's a very sweet kid, and that's nowhere.
Yeah. If I only had a boy who was mean, nasty, obnoxious, and
Julia!
I can see what you're up to, and I don't like it. I won't be a party to it.
Well, then we'll have to handle it alone. Curly, I'll call Julius and get him over here in a hurry.
Get on that phone.
And that's all I want you to do, Julius. And if you do it, I'll give you half of everything I've got.
You mean if I pretend I'm your son, you'll give me half of everything you got?
That's right, kid.
Gee, that'll make me independently broke. I want cash.
Julius, you'll get it. Give me time. I'll see that you're paid well.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Here, I'll give you $10. Now, look, Julius, when she comes in, we want you to...
Oh, here she is. Get ready, Julius. Come in.
Here I am, Lover. Oh, I just can't wait for us to get married.
Yeah. But first, I want you to meet my... wait a minute. Who's the guy with you? Your father?
No, this is Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, this is my fiancé, Mr. Remley.
Hi.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here...
Look, lady, before we get married, there's something you ought to know.
Well, what's that?
I have a son.
A son?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Well, you know, I just love children.
Well,
Believe
you ain't
me,
gonna
I'm
love
so
this
excited.
Junior, this is your new mother.
This is a mother? Pop, I know you can't be choosy, but this is ridiculous.
Junior, don't be fresh. Your mother is very attractive. Look at that face. Look at that figure. Ah, is she a woman?
I was just about to ask you that
thing. Junior, mind your manners. She may not be pretty, but she's different. You should be proud to be her son.
Yeah, you'll be the envy of all the kids in the neighborhood. You'll have the only mother with 5 o'clock shadow.
I don't believe anybody asked you for your 2 cents, Mr. Badinsky.
Lady, I don't think our marriage would work out. You see, my son doesn't seem to take to you.
He will. It'll take a little time, but after a while I'll grow on him. You couldn't grow on me if you used Vigoro. See, he's warming up to me already. Would you like for me to kiss your son? Keep away from me, lady. Stop snapping them saucer lips at my kisser.
He'd like to kiss you, but I don't think it's advisable.
Well, why not?
He hasn't had his distemper shots yet.
I can't understand why the boy doesn't like me.
Let me talk to him. Junior, what's wrong? Why do you find this repulsive woman so repulsive?
I don't like her looks. She's got a low forehead, a long nose, and a receding chin. I do not have a receding chin.
Of course she doesn't. She just looks that way because she has a protruding face.
I never saw so many wise guys in one room. I don't like the attitude of any of you. I'm going to leave here before somebody insults me. I know when I'm not wanted, Mr. Remley, and you may consider our romantic interlude terminated.
You mean?
I no longer have any desire for you to plight my troth. Goodbye.
boy, it worked. Hey, Julius, you were wonderful. I'll never forget you for getting me out of this spot. You both heard her say she don't want to marry me.
Now, wait a minute, Remley. You'd better go after her. You didn't get that contract back, and as long as she has it, she can sue you for breach of promise.
I'll let her keep it. She can't sue me with that contract.
Why not?
Forgot to tell you, sign your name to it.
Oh, no. Now you've gone and tromped at my place.
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. But first, here's your Rexall family druggist.
Last week, a proud mother was telling me how fast her boy ran in his school's recent track meet. She was buying a Rexall antiseptic at the moment, and I said to her, "Your boy might get a kick out of knowing that this antiseptic ran its race in darn good time, too."
An antiseptic in a race? What on earth do you mean?
Just what I said. This antiseptic has also had a grueling and important speed test.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, it's like this. In some drug preparations, antiseptics may have as little as 30 seconds to stop the growth of bacteria. So Rexall's men of science give them speed tests. A little of the antiseptic is placed in a test tube containing a culture of bacteria. Then, after 30 seconds, a sample is removed from the tube. This sample is then cultured and tested. If the antiseptic didn't stop all germ growth within those 30 seconds, it isn't good enough to wear the Rexall label.
Oh, wait until I tell my son this. He'll never let me buy any other kind.
Well, ma'am, he wouldn't be the first person nor the last who's come to have complete confidence in any drug product that wears the Rexall label. And 10,000 independent Rexall druggists feel exactly the same way. You see, we know that all of the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company get the same kind of uncompromising tests. And that's why in every store with the orange and blue Rexall sign on the window, there's a family druggist who will tell you you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall.
We're a little late, so good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
This is Bill Foreman wishing good health to all from Rexall.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Now, listen to Jack Benny in Robert Riley Crutcher's Best in Radio, Babes in the Woods, on Cresta Blanca's This Is My Best. This is My Best, America's greatest stars in the world's best story. Presented each week by Shenley's Cresta Blanca wine. Wine of friendly nature, pride of the vintner's art, symbol of hospitality, compliment to honored guests. A wine to serve proudly, saying, "This is my best. This is Cresta Blanca." C-R-E-S-T-A, B-L-A-N-C-A. Cresta Blanca. Cresta Blanca. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is James Wallington, your Cresta Blanca host. We are proud that tonight's program has been chosen for rebroadcast overseas. We have prepared several pages of introductions for our star tonight, but we found that millions know him for his Sunday night broadcast, his motion pictures. He can currently be seen in the Warner Brothers production, The Horn Blows at Midnight. GIs know him, too, for his overseas jaunts to entertain our soldiers. His name, Jack Benny, who will be heard tonight as Kenneth Maxwell in Robert Riley Crutcher's amusing best story, Babes in the Woods. And so, Cresta Blanca presents Jack Benny on This Is My Best. If you live in Hollywood and saw the movie trade papers this morning, you probably noticed the following items. Kenneth Maxwell, Academy Award winner for the best screenplay of 1944, trains east today for the Broadway production of his new play, Babes in the Woods, which Maxwell will produce and direct. Sandra Starling, star of his last two pictures, accompanies him to New York, where they will wed. Well, I know them both, and I wish them all the luck in the world.
He'll need it.
Why? That's what I want to know. Why? If you could get one train reservation, why couldn't you have gotten two?
Sandra, darling, I tried to
You
get...
tried. Didn't you tell him we were engaged, that we were going to be married as soon as we got to New York?
Yes.
I would like to be there for my own wedding.
Dearest, I was hopeless without you. If the ticket agent had only seen how beautiful and lovely you are, he would have given us anything.
Oh, well, I suppose I should have gone with you. You really think he would have done it for me?
They'll call you the moment there's a reservation available. Meanwhile, I can get some very important business and production problems out of the way. Excuse me a minute.
How do you do, Mr. Maxwell? I understand you are producing a play.
Yes.
Strange as it may seem, I happen to be at liberty at the moment.
Uh-huh.
I've had 40 years' experience as a juvenile. Surely you've seen my picture, Rose of the South.
I seem to recall the aroma. I'm very sorry, but I'm not casting my play until I get to New York. Good day.
Dinner is served.
I beg your pardon?
Dinner is served. I also do butler parts, Mr. Maxwell.
So do I. Mr. Maxwell is not at home.
Yes. Here's a long-distance call from New York.
Thank you, dear. Hello? Yes? The which? The Cute and Clever Kitties Dramatic School? Yes, I got all your wires, but I don't want any cute and clever kitties. What? I know my play is called Babes in the Woods, but they're not that kind of babes. Not that kind of woods, either. Madam, I'm sorry. I'm late for my train. Goodbye.
Really, Ken, you'll have to do something before I get to New York. I simply will not have my honeymoon cluttered up with these frustrated hands.
Darling, don't give it another thought. The moment I arrive at the Grand Central Station, I'll have everything under control.
Attention, please. Train leaving New York for Pittsburgh, Chicago, and points west on track 5.
Hey, mister, do me a favor, will you?
What?
Would you mind doing me a favor?
Certainly, if I can.
Look, this here's my kid, Patsy.
Well, how do you do, Patsy?
Why ain't you in uniform?
A lovely child.
She's smart, all right, too smart. You see, it's like this. I'm in defense work. I'm a key man, and I'm being shipped to the West Coast, and I got to get on that train. You see, mister, I got nobody to leave her with, so I put her in a home.
Well, look,
You know, a boarding house for kids, see?
Uh-huh.
But she comes down here to say goodbye, and now I got no time to take her back. Mister, I want you should put her in a cab and send her back home. Here, I'll give you the dough.
No, never mind. I'll be glad to do it.
Oh, that's swell of you. I wrote the address on her ration book and put it in her purse. Thanks a lot. So long, Patsy. Be a good kid.
Okay, goodbye.
Well, come along, Patsy. I'll find a nice, pretty yellow cab for you. And then you can go for a wonderful ride. Won't that be grand?
No.
What's the name of this home where you're staying?
I won't tell you.
I'll get you something nice. What would you like?
A baby brother.
Well, I walked into that one. I meant anything except a baby brother.
A baby sister.
Where was I? Oh, yeah. Tell me the name of your home, dear.
No, I don't like it there. I won't go back, and you can't make me. You ain't my daddy.
You shouldn't say I ain't your daddy. You know better than that. Now, let me see your address on your ration book. Here, give me your purse.
No, let go of my purse. Let go of my purse.
Shh, people are staring.
Give me back my purse. Give me back my purse.
Hey, what's going on here?
Oh, hello, officer. Hello.
Did you try to snatch that kid's purse?
Well, certainly not. Do I look like the kind of a man who goes around taking money from little children? Ridiculous. All I wanted was her ration book. That's all.
Her ration book, is it? Well, maybe you'd like to come down to the station and try our canned goods.
It's perfectly all right. You see, she's my little girl. Come, dear. Taxi! Ah, here's one.
I don't want to ride in this taxi cab. I want to ride in that one with a pretty girl driving it.
You're going to ride in this cab whether you like it or... Hey, she is pretty, isn't she? I mean, of course, if it'll make you happy. Taxi?
Yes, sir. Where to?
Here's $5. I want you to take this charming young lady to, well, you'll find the address in her purse. Goodbye, Patsy. Remember what your daddy told you. Be a good girl.
Daddy, don't leave me. Don't send me back to the orphan's home. Oh, please don't, Daddy.
Hey, just a minute, you. What's this orphan's home routine?
Oh, she's not my child.
No?
No.
And why is she calling you Daddy?
I don't know. Patsy, what's the matter? You know I'm not your daddy.
Uh-huh. But you said I shouldn't say you ain't my daddy.
That's right. You shouldn't say I ain't. But the point is, I ain't. I mean, where's that address?
I don't want to go back there.
Where is it?
I tore it off and ate it.
You what?
Now, see here, mister, there's something behind this.
Yeah, if she doesn't behave, I'm going straight to the bottom of it, too.
If you strike that child, I'll call the police.
I'm not going to strike her. I simply want to get rid of her.
Do you know you can get 10 years for abandoning a child?
Young woman, I am a bachelor. It's very embarrassing to have a child on my hands. She belongs in a home where she will be very well taken care of.
That's the man for you, tossing his responsibilities to the wind and breezing on his way to more adventures. You ought to be horsewhipped.
I'm trying to explain to you that this is not my child.
Is that so?
Oh, it's you, officer.
You told me this was your little girl.
Well, yes, she was. But right now she is. I mean, she wasn't. Look, we're leaving. The Hudson Arms Hotel, please.
I'm sleepy.
Well, as soon as we get up to my apartment, you can take a nap while I do some telephoning.
Yes, sir?
I'm Kenneth Maxwell. You have my reservation for a suite.
Oh, yes, Mr. Maxwell, the bridal suite, but,
But what?
But you didn't mention that you had a child.
Now, look, don't you start that. Look, did you or did you not accept my reservation for the bridal suite?
Yes, but we were hardly expecting a child bride.
This is very silly. But let's be real. Does this little girl look like anything like me?
Well, no, she doesn't.
Of course she doesn't. She belongs to friends of mine. I brought her a present from Hollywood, and I want to take her upstairs while I get it out of my luggage.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I'll get your keys at once.
What did you bring me from Hollywood, Daddy? A baby brother?
Daddy? Did she say Daddy?
No, Laddie. She's a little Scotch girl.
Oh, I'm sorry. You'll have to go elsewhere.
But...
Good day, sir.
Oh, you again.
I knew they wouldn't take the kids. Where do you want to be turned down next?
Let's try the Park Plaza. And this time, will you please keep Patsy in the cab until I get the room?
Oh, no. You're not deserting any kid in my cab. And I can tell you right now they won't take kids at the Park Plaza.
There must be some place in town that'll accept children.
Yes, the maternity ward, but they won't accept you.
No, I'm sorry. No kids, no pets, no room.
Kid, are you calling this midget a kid?
No midget, no kids, no pets, no room.
Midnight. We've covered every place in town. What are you supposed to do with children these days? Refuse delivery?
I'm sleepy. When are we going, Daddy? Bye.
I don't know, Patsy. It seems there's a feeling covering everything but us.
Look, maybe I'm a sucker, but, well, I work all night, and you can take the kid to my apartment.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm exhausted.
I'm not doing it for you, you baby abandoner. I'm doing it for your poor little child.
I'm afraid you'll have to sleep in your whatchamacallit tonight, Patsy. If you want me, I'll be on the couch in the next room.
Tell me a story.
I've told so many tonight, I can't think of any more.
I can't go to sleep without a story.
All right. Let me see. Once upon a time in Hollywood, there was a big, bad wolf. And, no, you better say your prayers and go to bed.
Aren't you going to say them with me?
Well, I haven't said them for quite some time.
Why? Did you get everything you wanted?
Well, we shouldn't always ask for things, Patsy. We should express gratitude for what we have and ask God to make us good.
Daddy, you're already good.
Well, thank you, dear, but I think perhaps there's a little room for improvement. I'll say them with you.
Well, kneel down beside me. Put your hands in front of your face and bow your head.
Like this?
Uh-huh. Jesus, tender shepherd, hear me. Through the darkness, be thou near me. Keep me safe till morning light. And bless my new daddy, too. And please don't let him send me back to the home. Because I love him so. Thanks a lot. Amen.
Amen.
What's the matter, Daddy?
Nothing, just a little smoke in my eyes, I guess. Come here, get in my lap. That's the girl. La 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 la. It's 8 o'clock. Wake up. I'm going to give you a nice hot bath, darling, and then...
Thank you, dear, but I've already had one.
Oh, I thought... Where's Patsy?
Getting dressed. Breakfast will be ready in 3 minutes. Orange juice, sausages, waffles, and coffee. How's that sound?
A lot better than that menu last night. Cold shoulder and that other thing.
Now, I'm terribly ashamed of myself. After I left you last night, I went back to the station and talked to reporters. And they told me about... It was splendid of you to look after Patsy. And after breakfast, I'll try and help you find a home.
Well, there's really no rush.
Oh. Why should you be bothered with her? She's not yours. That's what those homes are for.
I know, but she dreads going back there. You see, I had a rather miserable night, thinking. If I had a child like Patsy, well, I don't believe I could stand the thought of her being unhappy.
I like you, Mr. Maxwell.
Ken. Thank you, Miss...
Diane.
Diane. What?
I'm saying.
Oh.
What?
Nothing. Say, you haven't been driving a cab very long, have you?
Oh, you noticed that. But I'm getting better. Really, I am. This morning, I almost got a pedestrian.
Really?
The trouble with me is I haven't been allowing for deflection. You see, you have to leave the target and...
Here, sit down beside me. Let me see your hands.
Why?
Look at them. Those aren't the hands of a taxi driver. They're soft and fragile and delicate as a cloud. Beautiful. They don't look like they've ever done a hard day's work.
Neither do yours.
Well, that's because of the kind of work I do. You know. I write plays. Sometimes I play the violin. Plays mostly. I just dabble with the violin.
Oh. You also work pretty fast, don't you?
Yeah. About Patsy now.
You know, if you want to adopt her, there'll be a lot of red tape. You'll have to notify the police.
I'll see if she's dressed.
Listening to Jack Benny in Babes in the Woods on Costa Blanca's This Is My Best. The jolly but unlooked-for guest full often proves to be the best. How very true that is. But haven't you noticed that often the informal dinner party created on the spur of the moment is usually a great success? It is especially true if the hostess is prepared with some extra charming touch to make the unlooked-for guest feel that special preparations have been made for his enjoyment. That extra charming touch may be a fine wine, such as Costa Blanca California Sauterne, served with the dinner. For this excellent Sauterne lends a gay, a friendly note to even the most informal meal. Alive with golden highlights, it has a delicate aroma all its own. Served with dinner, Costa Blanca Sauterne is a compliment to your guests and always adds extra zest to fine food. It is especially delightful when served well chilled. You are sure to enjoy Costa Blanca Sauterne, for it has been the crest of quality in wine since 1889. Now, This Is My Best brings you the second act of Babes in the Woods, starring Jack Benny. Ken and Diane, in their frantic search for the missing Patsy, have been making the rounds of the police station.
No, mister, no. Can't you understand English? We haven't got your little girl. We've got burglars, pickpockets, firebugs, panhandlers, forgers, card sharps, cracksmen, shoplifters, counterfeiters, vagrants, yakes, and bunco men, but we haven't got your kid.
Well, I'll leave my phone number. And don't forget her description. Soft, dark hair that falls down around her shoulders. Blue eyes with long, curly lashes. A cute little nose and lusciously formed lips.
Yes, mister. I'll notify you as soon as we pick up Hetty Lamar.
Come on, Diane. There's a chance, just a chance, she went back to the house.
Well, there's only one more place to try. Mrs. Fluff's boarding house for children. Down this street. If she isn't there, why don't you give up? You're wearing yourself out. You have so much work ahead of you on that play.
The what? Oh, yes, the play. How can I concentrate on a play when Patsy may be wandering around the city somewhere cold and hungry?
Well, then I'm afraid you'll have to go on without me.
Diana, now please don't leave me. I couldn't do anything without you. I need you.
Oh, Ken.
You're the most precious thing in the world to me.
Oh, Ken, do you mean that?
Of course I mean it. I'd be helpless without a taxi cab.
Oh. In that case, I'll turn on the meter.
Did I say something to hurt you?
No.
Oh. Well, you looked at me just your eyes were so cold.
Were they?
Oh, they're usually very soft and warm and exciting.
They are?
Diane.
Yes.
I don't know just how to say it. Since I've known you,
Yes?
Well, what I'm trying to put into words, is that
Yes?
Well, you're the only...
Here's Mrs. Fluff.
I don't want any.
Pardon me, do you have a child here named Patsy?
Patsy? Patsy. How many teeth you got in front?
All except one. Durocher on the left.
Oh, the southpaw. Yes, she's fat. Why?
Thank heavens, I've come to take her away.
Okay, I'll get 'em ready.
Thank you, Them?
Yes, them. Patsy's brothers and sisters. If you don't want no child of yours here, you can take 'em, all 5 of 'em.
5? 5? Diane!
All right, Kitty. Here's the apartment.
I want some candy. I want a hanky.
I'm thirsty.
I'm sleepy. I'm empty. I'm hungry.
I'm groggy. Company, fall in. Count off.
Scarlet, Ashley, Melanie, Rex, Patsy.
How did that Yankee get in there? No Patsy and Gone with the Wind.
Folks must have seen a double feature.
Diane, what am I going to do with them all?
I can sleep here in my apartment, but I don't know where we'll put you.
Don't worry about me. I'll just loosen my collar and hang myself on the coat tree. Diane, you're a peach. I love you. But how the devil am I going to look after them? I'll be at the theater all hours.
Take them to the theater with you.
No, that wouldn't work. All my attention will be on the stage.
Then put them on the stage.
On the stage?
Yeah, in the play. Why not?
5 kids? What am I doing, The Life of Candor?
Well, didn't you say one of the women is supposed to have 2 children?
Yes,
well,
but...
that settles it. You're the author. Simply write in 3 more.
But she can't have 5 kids. She's only 22.
That's what she says.
There are only supposed to be 2 kids who cause a lot of trouble.
5 will cause that much more. You ought to know. And it'll strengthen the plot.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Hang it all, yes. I'll do it. I can kill 2 birds with 1 brush. I can give all my attention to the stage and still keep an eye on the kids. Diane, what would I do without you? I love you.
Better be careful. That's twice you've said that.
Oh, I love you twice as much.
Oh, Ken. When should we be married?
Married? Diane, I'm afraid.
Darling, this apartment will be much too small for all of us, but I know just the place. I saw the cutest little house in Flatbush.
Look.
Ken, think of it. A little home with me and a white picket fence running around it.
Diane, wait. Look. Diane, look, there's something I have to tell you.
And it has a lawn, too. You know, grass. And you won't believe it, a swinging gate. Oh, I can see you now. You're coming home from the theater, and I'm waiting for you at the door. I take your arm and help you up the steps.
Am I that old?
Oh, of course not. Of course not, silly. You've had a hard day. You're all tuckered out.
See, I'm all in. Diane, please, I have to explain. Look, I dread telling you this, Diane, but you see, I'm all ready.
All ready what?
Look, Look, the kids are hungry. We'd better get us something to eat.
All right, let's see what we can scrape up in the kitchen, huh?
Company, forward, march.
Hello, Ken.
Hello. Come on, Kitty. Sandra.
The door was open, so I came on in.
Well, darling, I wasn't expecting you for another week.
Obviously. I called the theater when I arrived, and they said you gave me this address. So these are the production problems you had to take care of. 5 of them.
Sandra, dearest, you're jumping to conclusions. See, the father of these children is a defense worker. He's building...
What's his name?
He's building. Huh?
What's his name?
Oh, he's building planes for his country, is he? Now, I'm merely looking after them. Isn't that right, Patsy?
Uh-huh.
There. And did I ever see you? Any one of you before yesterday?
No, Daddy. Daddy! Well, don't think you've made a fool out of me. Truth is, I never did love you. I was only sacrificing myself for my career. You were just the means to an end. And this is the end. Goodbye.
Well, that's that. As the fairy stories go, the beautiful princess has removed her mask and revealed herself to be a witch.
Oh, Ken, I didn't know about her. It's all my fault.
Ah, nonsense. I'm glad it happened. I wasn't in love with her. I've known that ever since I've known you.
You mustn't say that.
It's true, Diane. Will you marry an adoring bachelor with 5 kids?
But...
You know, an offer like this doesn't come every day. Think, woman. A bachelor who's wealthy, rich. 6 ration books.
Well, you don't know anything about me. I'm wearing a mask, too.
I'll never take it off. It's beautiful.
It's horrible, Ken, that this whole thing was a lie, a plot.
Plot?
I'm not a taxi driver. I'm a dramatic coach. I have a school for children.
Wait a minute. Not that...
Yes, the cute and clever kiddies.
I love that name.
I thought it'd help my school if I could place some of them in a Broadway production. I knew you had parts for a couple of children, but you wouldn't answer my wires or listen to me over the phone. I had to do something.
Then you mean that defense worker?
My brother.
And Mrs. Schlupp?
My sister.
I see. In other words, you deliberately...
Yes. I plotted everything. But I didn't dream it would go so far. I didn't know you'd fall in love with me. And I didn't know I'd fall in love with you.
Now, Diane, wait a minute. Now, look, you can't escape things by running away.
All right. I'll stay and face it.
Never mind facing it. Face me. Look at me, Diane. I love you. You know, it was really a very clever idea. In fact, it was a brilliant idea.
Yes, it was. And I can't even take the credit for that. I stole the whole idea from a wonderful short story I read several years ago.
I know, darling. I wrote it.
Bentley's Costa Blanca wine joins our audience here in Hollywood in applauding Jack Benny for his performance in Babes in the Woods. Costa Blanca wine has enjoyed bringing you This Is My Best during the past season, and we hope you have been entertained by these programs. Our musical score tonight was composed and conducted by Bernard Katz. Totally different, excitingly dramatic. That's The Doctor Fight, the thrill-packed series of programs which comes to the air next week. Your doctors are fighting in this war, too, fighting to save lives. The dramatic true stories of their heroic exploits on the battlefront is the theme of the series of programs you will hear over Columbia Broadcasting Stations at this same time, beginning next week. Tune in The Doctor Fight with Cary Grant as next week's brilliant guest star. And remember, whenever you dine, dine with wine, and make it the best wine. C-R-E-S-P-A, B-L-A-N-C-A. Presta Blanca. Presta Blanca.
gentlemen, Dennis Day.
That makes life seem worthwhile. Dwells in your eyes, and the smell of your smile.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Palmolive Soap and Colgate Dental Cream. Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, B. Benaderet, Dink Trout, George Dooning in the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing Love Somebody.
Love somebody, yes I do. Love somebody, yes I do. Love somebody, yes I do. Love somebody, but I won't say who. I get feeling warm and gay when she sends her smile my way. I would marry her today, but who she is I will not say. I love somebody, yes I do. Love somebody, yes I do. Love somebody, yes I do. Love somebody, but I won't say who. Don't know why she acts so shy. Really, I'm a harmless guy. Hope she doesn't pass me by. If she did, I'd die. I know I'd die. I love somebody, yes I do. Love somebody, yes I do. Love somebody, yes I do. Love somebody, but I won't say who.
And now, here is a very important announcement. Palmolive Soap is giving away prizes worth $67,000. A grand prize of $25,000 in one lump sum, or $100 a month for life.
And that's not all. There are over 2,000 prizes in Palmolive's big treasure chest contest.
Ford sedans,
Westinghouse laundromat,
from Silver Fox scarves,
Toastmaster toasters.
And it's easy to enter. Complete the last line of this jingle.
A fresher, brighter-looking skin is something I would like to win. I'll get Palmolive Soap today. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Write your last line on a plain sheet of paper or get an official entry blank from your dealer giving complete rules. Include your own and dealer's name and address and mail with the big word Palmolive from the front of the wrapper of one regular and one bath-size cake of Palmolive Soap to Box 92, New York 8, New York.
Now, here's the jingle once more.
A fresher, brighter-looking skin is something I would like to win. I'll get Palmolive Soap today. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Mail your entry to Palmolive, Box 92, New York 8, New York.
Get Palmolive Soap for a lovelier complexion. Remember, doctors prove Palmolive's beauty results.
Well, tonight, excitement mounts at fever pitch in the little town of Weaverville. For tomorrow is the traditional football game between Weaverville High and their bitter and hated rivals, Middletown Prep. Needless to say, every loyal Weaverville alumnus is praying for his team to win. For when one spends 4 years at a school, one becomes enormously attached to it. And our young hero Dennis Day's feelings go even deeper than that, having been there for 7 years. We find him now in the living room of the Anderson boarding house, where he's been telling his girlfriend Mildred of his past days of glory on the gridiron.
Of course, I don't say I was the best water boy we ever had, Mildred.
Oh, no?
No. As a matter of fact, they fired me after the first day. I guess it was because I took so long to bring them the water.
You couldn't run fast enough?
Oh, it wasn't that. I used to take it out a cup at a time. The regular bucket was too heavy for me.
Well, maybe you weren't so strong, but I'll bet you were awfully cute when you were in high school.
Oh, sure, naturally.
Oh, well, I probably wouldn't have paid any attention to you if I'd known you. I thought I was madly in love with my French teacher. Did you ever have a crush on one of your teachers?
Nah.
Well, that's funny. I thought every kid got a crush on one of his teachers at school.
Oh, not me. I was too mature. Besides, all my teachers were men.
that might have had something to do with it. Gee, I wonder if my French teacher still remembers me.
I'll bet mine remembers me. I took French for 2 years, and when I got finished, all I could say was CP.
Oh, silly. But a football game like this certainly brings back memories, doesn't it?
Yeah, gosh, I sure hope we win it. I've never seen the town as excited about the game as they are this year.
I know. That's all anyone talks about. Even Mother and Daddy can't think of anything but beating... Oh, hi, Daddy.
Rah, rah, rah. Just boom, bah. Hit him in the belly with a trolley car.
We will, Daddy. Don't worry.
Oh, you bet we will. Say, Poopsie and I are going down to the school to see the team off for Middletown. You kids care to join us?
Oh, sure. I hear the coach is an old friend of yours, Mr. Anderson.
Yes. Old Rocky was coaching the football team when I went to Weaverville.
He was?
Oh, that was football in those days. No passes and trick plays. It was bone against bone, muscle against muscle. Skulls cracked like celluloid. Why, I was lucky if I lasted through the first quarter.
You mean you played on the team?
No, just watching. I had a weak stomach.
Well, I'm ready to leave, Herbert.
Why, Mother, you're wearing your old Weaverville sweater with a W on it.
Yes, and it still looks as good as the day I bought it. Except that the W seems to have shrunk a little.
I doubt it, Poopsie. The background's just gotten bigger, that's all.
Well, maybe. After all, it was 28 years ago that I first wore this sweater.
No, 28 years ago. Gosh, it doesn't seem that long, does it?
Well, not to me, naturally. I'm only 10 years older. Well, come on, everyone, let's go. Oh, I'm so excited.
Do you really think we'll beat Middletown this year, Mrs. Anderson?
Well, of course we will. I've even bet $5 on it.
$5? Oh, Poopsie, you shouldn't have. You know how badly I need new shoes. I could have taken that $5 and added it to the $5 I have under my handkerchiefs in the bottom drawer of the... Oh, now I've told you where it's hidden.
Don't be silly. What $5 do you think I bet?
Quite a crowd down to see the boys off, huh, Dennis? Where did Poopsie and Mildred disappear to?
Oh, they're over at the bus talking to some of the boys on the team. Gosh, those football players sure are big guys, aren't they, though?
Yes. I'm certainly glad I'm not that vulgar, muscular type of man.
Yeah, me too. I like my bones where I can see them.
Now, just look at the fuss Mildred and Poopsie are making over them. Impressed by a few biceps.
Yeah, women are such primitive creatures.
Certainly. What good are muscles, anyway?
All they do is put a strain on your skin.
Muscles, blah.
And also fat.
And likewise poo.
Darn right. And I'd say the same thing if I had some.
Oh, there's the coach. Hey, Rocky.
Gosh, Mr. Anderson, I wonder why he's looking so sad.
Hello, Herbie.
Hi, Rocky. You remember this young fella, don't you?
Huh?
I used to be the water boy.
Yeah, well, we've had so many water boys, you know.
Oh, I was the one you said carried less water in his bucket than on his brain.
Oh, Dennis Day. Glad to see you again, Day.
Say, is anything wrong, Rocky? You seem kind of upset.
Upset? I'm half crazy. Didn't you hear what happened? I just found out 10 minutes ago that a spy from Middletown sneaked into our secret practice and stole every one of our plays.
What?
Yes, they've got all our plays, and it's now too late to line up any new ones. We'll be slaughtered.
Oh, my gosh, the rats.
You said it. Of all the dirty, low-down, sneaking, unethical tricks to pull.
But where were you at the time, Rocky?
In Middletown on a roof across from their field with my telescope.
Did you spot any of their plays?
Not one. They chased me away the minute they saw me.
Oh, dear.
Oh, there you are, Herbert. I've been... Why, what's the conference?
A Middletown spy stole all our plays, Mrs. Anderson. We're sunk.
What?
It's true, fairy flower.
But they can't do this to us. Do you realize what's at stake? The glory and honor and pride of Weaverville High and my $5. Action, that's what we need. We'll send a spy up to Middletown to steal their plays.
Oh, if they caught him, they'd murder him and skin him alive. I couldn't order anyone to go on a mission like that.
I've got 2 volunteers for you, Herbert and Dennis.
Huh? But, Poopsie, you just heard how dangerous it'd be. You might lose me.
Herbert, Weaverville High gave you to me. Weaverville High has the right to take you away.
Well, it is our only chance. Now, look, they'll have a secret practice session before the game. All we got to do is figure a way to get you two guys in.
I have it. They can pose as doctors.
Doctors?
It's perfect. Tell them you're there from the Board of Health to check on the players. I'll go home right now and clean out the medicine chest and throw it all into a little black bag. I'll meet you back here in 10 minutes.
Well, I guess it's for Weaverville, Rocky. Say, get me. See that I'm buried back of the chemistry lab, will you, old man? That's where I spent my happiest hours in school.
You're a brave man, huh? How about you, Dennis? Any last requests?
Yeah, bury me in the principal's office. Many's the time I wished I were dead there.
Okay, fellas. I don't have to tell you what this means to the old school.
Oh, I'd die for dear old Weaverville, Rocky. You know that. Shall we all sing our alma mater together for what may be the last time?
Yeah, let's.
Very well. Bow your heads, gentlemen, and face the east.
Weaverville, oh Weaverville, we loved you then, we love thee still. Thy hallowed walls, thy colors serene, hail to magenta and aquamarine.
Oh, Weaverville, oh, Weaverville, thou art so much more than a learning mill.
Defend thyself from all attacks.
All attacks.
Oh, Lord, give brains to thy quarterback.
Oh, graduate, thou shalt always thrill at mention of the name of Weaverville. And wherever thou dost travel at, thou shalt bare thy head by removing thy hat. Weaverville, oh Weaverville, we're nuts about thee, Weaverville.
Gee, I sure hope this works, Mr. Anderson.
Oh, me too. If we can only make these Middletown coaches think that we're really doctors.
Well, in case he wants proof, I brought along a pack of camels.
Well, I hope it's enough. Look, there he is coming toward us. On your toes now, Dennis.
Sorry, gents, but this is a secret practice. Can't allow anybody on the field during...
Oh, just a second, my good man. We happen to be from the Board of Health. I'm Dr. Cronkite, and this is my colleague, Dr. Weltschmerz.
From the Board of Health?
Yes, we're investigating football. A very unsanitary game from what we hear. Most unsanitary.
Unsanitary? That's ridiculous.
You can't argue with facts, Coach. A recent survey of the Harvard football team of 1839 showed that every one of those players are dead at the present time. Every one.
Well, of course they're dead.
And not only that, but at the end, they all showed exactly the same symptoms.
Yes, extreme old age.
Oh, now look here.
Now, I'm sure that you'll agree there must be something basically wrong with a sport that takes fine young boys and turns them into old men within 70 years.
Yes, this threat to public health cannot go unchallenged.
We've got to find out what makes this game so unsanitary. Now, tell me, how many men are there on each side?
11, but...
Please, don't interrupt. How many footballs are used in the game?
1.
What? 22 men all using the same football? Shocking.
It's a disgrace.
No wonder football teams go around with their eyeballs twitching, their hands shaking, and their backfields in motion.
Well, gosh, Doc, maybe you got something. I never thought about it before.
Of course. Here, give one of these pills to every man on your team immediately.
Yeah? Well, what are they?
They're new secret vitamin pills. Each pill contains as much nourishment as 3 dozen eggs, 5 quarts of milk, 4 T-bone steaks, and an order of chopped liver with schmaltz.
Oh, yeah. Well, sure, Doc, whatever you say. Thanks a lot.
Dennis, what did you do that for? Look, he is giving the team the pills.
Oh, they were only some aspirin tablets I found in the bag.
But even so,
we had to get rid of them, didn't we? We want to write down those plays. Anyway, it made them less suspicious of us.
Well, maybe. Say, that is a pretty nifty football team he's got, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll say. Hey, look at that play they're running now. That's pretty cute.
Well, don't you worry. I'm putting it right into my little black book here.
Attaboy.
Our boys will... Oh, my gosh, Dennis, look. One of the boys just got hurt on that last play.
Yeah. Holy smoke, they're bringing them over here.
Oh, I know. We're supposed to be doctors.
Oh, my gosh, that's right. I wouldn't be in that kid's shoes for anything.
We've got to keep up the bluffer.
Yeah.
Here they come.
Here's a patient for you, Doc. He was just hurt in the scrimmage.
In the scrimmage, huh? Bad. Bad. That's right near the liver.
It's nothing, Doc. I'm just a little shaken up.
Oh, don't be too sure of that, my boy. We better play it safe and take a post-mortem.
A post-mortem?
I think maybe the first thing to do is feel his pulse, Doctor.
All right, Doctor. We'll work it out together. You find it and I'll feel it. On the other hand, why bother? This man's ailment is quite clear. Appendicitis.
Hey, but Doc, I had my appendix out last year.
Oh, well, what I meant was tonsillitis.
I had my tonsils out the year before.
Okay, you've had a heart attack. Let's see you get out of that one.
Well, how is he, Doc?
Oh, he's very bad, Coach. This boy must have complete quiet. I want him to stay right where he is for 48 hours.
48 hours? But we got a football game to play in this field at 2 o'clock.
Well, in that case, warn the players not to step on him. Complications might arise. Come, Dr. Welschmerels. We must be going.
Coming, Dr. Cronkite.
I'll see you later, Coach.
Okay, Mike. Get up, get back in there.
Hey, but Coach, the doctor just said...
Doctor, my eye. Those guys aren't doctors. They're a couple of spies from Weaverville trying to get a line on our plays.
What? But they even gave us pills.
Nothing but aspirin. I saw the bottle in their bag. I also saw a little book with one of our plays in it.
And you're letting them get away with it?
Don't be a dope. I tore out the play they had and filled up the book with phony ones. Now every time they think they know what's coming, they'll get something else. We'll murder them, Mike.
Ah, Coach, you're a genius. That game will be a massacre.
Yes, operator. Weaverville 227. Oh, thank you. Hello, Poopsie. This is your lover boy, the Matahari of Weaverville. Sure, we just delivered a whole notebook full of their plays to Rocky. Yeah, I think your $5 is safe, dear.
Tell her to bet some more. Pack the furniture, everything. It's in the bag.
Bet all you can get down, Poopsie. It's a cinch. Yeah. No, we're not staying for the game. Someone might get wise to us. And we'll be home on the next bus. Huh? Well, you're my big booful baby doll, Smokey Wookie, too.
Oh, you wonderful boys. Why, Weaverville will run all over Middletown now.
Yep, thanks to us. We did a pretty brilliant job, didn't we, Dennis?
Brilliant. Oh, shucks, there must be a stronger word than that.
Oh, I agree with you.
Sure, who needs muscles? We may not have them, but we got brains. Mr. Anderson was so clever about writing down those plays in his book, I didn't even see him do it myself.
Me? I didn't write those plays down. You did.
No, I didn't.
But you must have.
Well, I ought to know. I never left my side for an instant.
Well, but if you didn't write them, and I didn't write them, who did?
Well, let's face the facts. There were only 3 of us anywhere near the bag. You, me, and the Middletown coach. Now, if it wasn't you and it wasn't me, it was... Boy, what a disgusting face on this fact.
Yes. Dennis, do you know what this means?
Uh-huh. No muscles, no brains, nothing.
Will someone please tell me what this is all about?
We've been tricked, Mildred. That coach must have gotten wise and written the plays in our book himself while we were working on an injured player. Meanwhile, Weaverville would get the worst beating in its history.
Oh, I feel faint. Take my hand and lead me to the sofa.
We'll have a pretty long walk. That was one of the things Mother hopped to bet on the game.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, something's got to be done. She'll be down any minute to listen to the football scores on the radio.
Oh, my soul and former body.
Well, my 2 brave, wonderful heroes.
Hello, Poopsie.
Well, what are we waiting for? Jack Collins is on right now with his sports broadcast. Let's turn him on and get the good news.
Oh, we can't hear him now. We got to tune in the Green Hornet.
Oh, yeah, we just must have to hear that. Yeah.
The Green Hornet? Why this sudden interest in the Green Hornet?
In the last episode, a stinger was caught in the door and he was turning blue.
Stop it. I want to hear that score. There.
And here's another final score. Pomona Barbara College, 27. North, Southeast, West, Virginia, 13. And here's a late one that just came in. Well, is this amazing? Weaverville High was supposed to beat Middletown by a margin of 1 touchdown. But the final score, which was just handed to me, reads, Middletown 13, Weaverville 110.
Why, he must have made a mistake.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just made a mistake on the last score.
Oh.
It should read Middletown 13, Weaverville 112.
Good heavens.
My scouts informed me that the Middletown team acted in a very strange manner. They started off well, but after the game had been underway for a few minutes, they began to stagger all over the field and fall down unaccountably without being touched. The final score again, Middletown 13, Weaverville 112.
Oh, happy day. Money, money, money. I'm loaded with it. Oh, you wonderful boys, you. I know I shan't be able to sleep a wink tonight with all this excitement. Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Dennis, I can't believe it.
Me either. It must be a dream. If I thought I could stand the pain, I'd pinch myself.
It's no dream, my boy. But what do you suppose happened to the Middletown team?
We'll probably never know.
I've forgotten my excitement. Where's the little black bag I gave you? It has all the medicine in it, and I want a sleeping pill to calm my nerves.
Sleeping pill? A sleeping pill? But there weren't any sleeping pills in the bag, Mrs. Anderson.
Oh, yes, there were. I had them in an old aspirin bottle.
An aspirin bottle?
Yes.
The mists are beginning to clear away.
Gosh. So that's why they said... Gosh.
What are you talking about?
Oh, never mind. Mr. Anderson.
Yes, Dennis?
Shall we face the east?
Yes, Dennis.
Weaverville, oh, Weaverville, aren't you glad they took that pill? Weaverville, dear Weaverville, we love thee still, we always will.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
No other toothpaste does a better job of cleaning teeth than Colgate Dental Cream. For Colgate Dental Cream has a safe polishing agent that cleans your teeth both gently and thoroughly, brings out their natural sparkle and beauty. You can actually see and feel the difference.
And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, actual scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth.
Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested. Yes, preferred over every other brand tested.
And no wonder, for Colgate Dental Cream is the result of constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world today, for cleaning teeth, for flavor, for sweetening breath.
So see if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Try Colgate Dental Cream to bring out the natural sparkle and beauty of your teeth. For a wake-up flavor you'll thoroughly enjoy.
And always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. With George Dooning in the orchestra, here's Dennis to sing Bluebird of Happiness.
Feel like I hold your head up high till you find the bluebird of happiness. You will find greater peace of mind knowing there's the bluebird of happiness. And when he sings to you, oh, you're deep in blue, you will see a ray of light creep through, and so remember this: life is no abyss. Somewhere there's a bluebird somewhere there's a bluebird, all the
Next week, tune in to another Dennis Day Show brought to you by Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth.
For soft, gleaming, glamorous hair, try Luster Cream Shampoo. Not a soap, not a liquid, but a dainty new cream shampoo. In tubes or jars, whichever you prefer. Be a lovely Luster Cream girl.
Dream girl, beautiful Luster Cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a Luster Cream shampoo.
Listen again next week to Colgate's Hour of Fun, Judy Canova, followed by Dennis Day. And for another great comedy program, hear Blondie next Wednesday evening over your favorite NBC station. This month, your city's community chest is making its annual appeal for funds to meet the urgent needs of your community's vital health and welfare services. The community chest is many campaigns in one. Were it not for your community chest, as many as 35 separate appeals would have to be made. The need for health, welfare, and recreation services is greater than ever before, and operating costs have gone up. In addition, USO is being restored for our armed forces, and your community chest has been asked by Secretary of Defense James Forrestal to help raise funds for it. So open your heart and your purse. When a community chest representative calls, give, and give generously. Vern Smith speaking. Good night.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ken Carpenter speaking from Washington, D.C. Last Thursday, the Halls of Ivy was presented with the Peabody Award for the most outstanding dramatic achievement in radio. And we are indeed grateful to all of you for the loyal support which has made this a possibility. Ladies and gentlemen, the Halls of Ivy.
Good evening, this is Ronald Coleman. May I add my word of thanks to the George Foster Peabody Committee for this coveted award. Tonight, we're repeating a program which you may have heard a few weeks ago. This is in response to an unprecedented demand for this particular script. And it is also a request of the Chamber of Commerce of the United States, before whom we have the honor of appearing tonight at Washington, D.C. And now, may I invite you to join Mrs. Coleman and me for the next half hour when our sponsors, the brewers of Schlitz Beer, present the Halls of Ivy.
If you like good beer, do as millions of people are doing all over the country. Ask for Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. Schlitz tastes so good to so many people that it's the largest selling beer in America. It has to be fine to be first. And now, the Halls of Ivy.
We love the halls of ivy that surround us here today, and we will not forget though we be far away.
Welcome again to Ivy. Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA.
Like millions of other citizens, the president of Ivy, Dr. William Todd Hunter Hall, scans each morning paper for some little ray of hope that the world may be tottering on the brink of sanity. As he says to his wife, Victoria, former reigning beauty of the London stage,
It's a loss of perspective, that's what it is.
Good. I'm glad that's settled.
You're glad?
No. Whatever it was you were talking about. You sounded tied up in little bow knots and ragged threads clipped off ready for shipment.
Well, I really didn't mean it to sound like that. Conclusive is something I try very hard not to be. It's too easy to wake up thirsting for a hair of the dogma that bit you, or that you bit somebody else with.
Yes, well, when you get around to it, dear, I know you'll tell me what you've been talking about. I'm not one of your brain-picking females who won't let you have a private opinion of your own. But, are we getting anywhere with this conversation?
A conversation needn't necessarily go anywhere. Now, it's merely one of the pleasant civilized customs which differentiate us from the lower vertebrates.
Oh, I thought all animals communicated with each other, upper and lower.
Communication is not per se conversation. The disjointed earthworm, they say, is able to establish communication between its two halves. But I doubt if the communion would be studied with quotations from Confucius or Bennett Cerf.
I give up. What's with the perspective?
What's with the perspective? Now that, my darling, is one of the current locutions which I really abominate. What's with you, Charlie? Make with the jokes, Bert. What's with the perspective, William?
Oh, this sounds dreadful. But what does make with the perspective?
Yeah, well, I'll have to backtrack a little so I can remember what I... Oh, yes, I remember. In reading the paper, I rather came to the conclusion that the parlous state of the world at this moment is due, in a measure, to a loss of perspective.
I bet you have a pretty profound thought there, Doctor. Break it down for your child bride.
I'll try. In the present chaotic state of world affairs, it seems to me that if man could step back from himself and take a good look at his own idiocies, he would doubt his senses. There was a time when an artist, to be worthy of the title, had to be a consummate draftsman, thoroughly grounded in composition, line, mass, color, and perspective. It's perhaps symptomatic of our times that in the art of today, perspective, which gives a sense of relative placement, has been relegated to the... Isn't that annoying? Just when I was about to make a very significant and penetrating observation. Or maybe I've just been saved from saying something quite silly. Excuse me, darling. Hello? Dr. Hall speaking.
Police station, Dr. Hall. Chief Benson.
Oh, good morning, Chief. Now, who's done what to whom, and how much do I need to get him or her out of whatever it is?
No case of hoodlumism, Doctor. Disturbing the peace, willful damage to theater property, resisting arrest, and just general obnoxiousness.
I suppose it concerns me in some way, or you wouldn't be calling.
A couple of your students, Doctor.
Oh.
Names of Clayton, Dorsey. I'm holding them on an open charge pending your advice, which is usually pretty sound.
Thank you, but if there's nothing really vicious or felonious against them, can't you release them in my custody without my coming down there?
Sure. It's a little irregular, but who's going to pinch the chief of police? Why don't you shag these two lemonheads over to your office, Doctor?
Yeah, no, you'd better send them to my house instead. I'd rather keep it on a personal and non-official basis if I can. Thanks for calling, Chief.
Sure, Doc. I'm always glad to work with you. You're the best cop on my force. And you never pull your prowl car into an alley, take a nap, and report later that your radio went haywire. Keep me informed, will you?
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye, Chief. You were about to ask, I believe, what's with Chief Benson?
Well, no, I was going to phrase it a little more carefully, dear. I was going to say, what cooks for the gendarmes?
Well, it appears that two of our young men, Clayton and Dorsey by name, have been picked up for malicious mischief, general hoodlumism, and other misdemeanors.
Dorsey and Clayton? I suppose that's Potsy Clayton, the track captain. And Dorsey must be the young man who played such a wicked trumpet in the Junior Follies at Riff, Dorsey. Well, I wonder what got into those two boys. They're not hoodlums.
Well, they've evidently given a very workmanlike imitation of it, then. You know, there's been altogether too many instances of this sort lately. A lack of restraint.
Oh, good heavens. Can that be them already?
Oh, I doubt it. They're not that anxious to confront me. Now, I'll see.
Morning, Bill.
Oh, good morning, Tom. Come in.
Thank you.
Don't brighten our threshold often enough. I know you're busy, but must you wait until you have troubles to come and see us?
How do you know I bring troubles?
Oh, because you dressed in such haste this morning that your left shoestring is untied.
Huh?
It's incompatible with your usual sartorial dignity. Vicky, put on your most pious expression. We have an ecclesiastical guest.
Oh, Mr. Osmore. Oh, hello, Chaplain.
Morning, Mrs. Howell. And you don't have to look pious on my account. You're not enough of a hypocrite to get away with it.
The Reverend Dr. Mansfield brings me trouble, Victoria, as usual. Troublesome type of guest.
Well, this isn't a soul-shattering burden I bring you, Bill. But it's symptomatic, I'm afraid, of a bad and worsening condition.
Worsening? Is there such a word?
Oh, yes. It's legitimate. Especially now, having had the baptismal blessing of the church. What's the disturbing condition, Tom? And sit down, man, sit down.
Yeah, I guess I'd better, at least long enough to tie my shoe. Been hearing anything about some of our boys roughing up the town, Bill?
Yes, a couple of reports last week, which I dismissed as isolated, coincidental, and unimportant. After all, you can't have as many muscular and restless young men gathered in one place as we have without the safety valve hissing a little.
And then this morning...
Yes, this morning, Police Chief Benson called. It seems that a couple of our boys have passed the safety valve stage and are threatening the main boilers. Serious hoodlumism, apparently.
Exactly. It's more or less in my province as the theoretical spiritual advisor of these students, but it spills over into your territory, too. After all, you're the head of the tongue. I'm just a hatchet man with a prayer book.
At least when you throw the book at them, Chaplain, it's the right book.
Yes, it wouldn't hurt if the Book of Common Prayer were a little more common.
I'm glad to hear you say so, Bill. I never considered you a very religious man.
Oh, then you better reconsider, Chaplain.
A religious man is an ambiguous term, Tom. If you mean, am I religious in the matter of strict church attendance, in the regular observance of form and ritual, of partiality to a nominal group, I'm afraid I must disappoint you.
Well, that's what I...
However, if you mean, am I religious in the larger sense of being reverently aware that love and honor and truth and beauty could not have created themselves, well, then you'll find no more devout parishioner than myself.
How'd you like to swap jobs?
No.
You're a better preacher than I am.
Yeah, well, he can't do it, Chaplain, on account of the collar buttoning in the back. And I gave him some lovely neckties for Christmas.
That seems to nip that monstrous vocational exchange in the bud. Now, but what about the problem, Tom? You have a suggestion?
Yes. I'm going to take it up in chapel. Not once and dismiss it. I'm going to hammer at it a little. I think it's serious. And I think you might address the next student assembly on the same topic.
I shall certainly consider it. Chief Benson is sending me his 2 amateur gangsters, and after I talk to them, I'll have a better idea of what the problem is.
Oh, that's simple enough. It's the war, the draft, the uncertain status of some of these boys. Books or bullets, profession or propellers. Some of them have a rather understandable, if regrettable, feeling that the carpet is being yanked out from under them, and they might as well have a fling while they're falling.
Yeah, that's my diagnosis, too. You got a theorem for it?
How about a truth theorem?
Oh, there are so many truths, Mrs. Hall, and so many pat answers masquerading as truth. What do you think, Bill?
I really don't know, Chaplain. I'd like to have a wise answer at hand, but this problem is so basic that neither you nor I must rush into the trap of glib and shallow assurance. But being basic, I think it comes down to a matter of character. To quote Abraham Lincoln, character is like a tree, and reputation is its shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing.
And you think these boys have been looking for birds' nests in the wrong tree?
No, not necessarily. No, but I think they might be barking up the wrong shadow.
When there's beer on your mind, your best thought is Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. More people like the taste of Schlitz than any other beer. That's why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. The other day, the Schlitz people received a letter in which the writer said he'd heard on the radio that Schlitz produces 5 million bottles and cans of beer per day. He seemed to think that this was an unbelievable amount of beer to put out in one day and wondered if his ears were playing tricks on him. They weren't. While the production of Schlitz varies from day to day, the average is well over 5 million cans and bottles of beer daily. Now, this is a record even for Schlitz, the largest selling beer in America. However, the fact of leadership is not nearly so important as the reason behind it. The reason Schlitz is first in sales is because it tastes so good to so many people. We think you like Schlitz best, too. It has to be fine to be first.
That surround us here today.
As we return to the halls of Ivy, Dr. Hall is still awaiting the arrival of the 2 students charged with disturbing the peace. Chaplain Mansfield has just left, and Mrs. Hall says...
I've always liked him. It's an old bromide, I know, but if he took off that round collar and black shirt, you'd never know he was a clergyman.
Oh, I don't know, darling. I think you would.
I would?
I would, at least. Even without his professional attire, he'd have the calm authority of a really good man. It's an air. Not so much of superiority over his fellows as the attitude of a well-briefed defense attorney pleading the case of human frailty at the bar of heaven. And there's a slight expression of sadness which accompanies it.
Probably from having lost so many cases.
Men like that count no case really lost. They always try one more appeal. Chaplain Mansfield, for instance. Hello? Dr. Hall's residence? Yes. Who? The University of Chicago. Very well. It's probably Mitt Matthews.
Well, if somebody's offering you a job, Toddy, don't take it. I like it here.
Happiness no object?
What's happiness? Can it buy money?
That's the... Hello? Yes? Yes, this is Bill Hall. Who? Oh, hello, Mitty. Nice to hear from you. Ready? I've been ready since the 23rd of December. All right, here you are. King's Knight to the bishops. Hey, nasty shock, wasn't it, old man? Well, just keep telling yourself that it's only a game and someone has to lose. Yeah. Nice to hear from you, Mitty, finally. And call me again anytime. Any time of the pawn or night. Yeah. Goodbye.
Mitty?
Yes, Mitty M. Matthews of the University of Chicago. He's just published a monumental dictionary of Americanisms. It's no wonder that he hasn't had time to play chess by telephone.
From your conversation, I gather you have him beaten.
Oh, on the contrary, my dear, I don't think I have an oriental opportunity.
Translation, Chinaman's charm.
Yes. You see, Mitty is...
What's the matter?
I forgot to tell you. We're having another visitor besides the 2 young hoodlums.
Oh, shall I bake a cake or just tie to my nose? Who is it?
It's Champ Waterfield.
Oh, not the big automobile dealer.
Yes. I want Waterfield here by chance when the boys arrive.
The things that happen by chance around here.
Oh, that'll be Waterfield, I expect. I'll let him in. Hello, Champ.
Hello, Dr. Hall.
Come in.
Well, how are you, Doctor? And what's this all about? I gather it's some kind of an emergency.
Oh, just a minor one, and thank you for responding so promptly. I don't think you've been my wife. Have you, Victoria Champ Waterford?
Hello, Mr. Waterford. I'll be honest. Our left rear tire has 1 foot in the retread department.
Well, I don't think I'm here on a car deal, Mrs. Hall, but if I am, your honesty gets you a small discount. I run into honesty so seldom that I lose all my business sense.
We should, as the saying goes, achieve such longevity.
Yes. Live so long, yes.
And please sit down, Champ. This is not a car deal, so you won't have to run screaming out of the door when you see ours.
Well, I have seen yours, and I'll make you a fine offer any day you say. It'll be a pleasure to do business on a non-larceny basis.
To whom's larceny are you referring? It doesn't sound quite right, does it? To whom's larceny? Now, whom's larceny? The larceny of whom's
To whose larceny?
Yes. Are you referring?
Well, my customers, naturally. The only time I'm guilty of chiseling is when some sweet old lady who swears she only used her 900,000-mile Essex to go down to the corner and mail letters tries to sell me a car with molasses and ground cork in the transmission, old rags in the casings, and a radiator plugged with 6 packages of bubble gum.
I suppose people do consider an automobile dealer as a lawful prey, a legitimate victim.
Doctor, you'd be surprised. People who'd walk back 10 blocks in a blizzard to give a newsboy the proper change, that wouldn't cop a 2-bit ashtray from an $80-a-day hotel suite, those same people will look an automobile dealer square in the eye and tell the most horrible lies about a trade-in.
There ought to be a sign over the door of every auto agency. Abandon truth, all ye who enter here.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised at the yee-hoos we do get in here. But, hey, I'm talking too much.
Well, champ, this is not an automobile deal.
Well, then what is it? Mr. Waterford and I, neither of us seems to know.
Well, it was not my intention to maintain a dramatic silence and then reveal all on page 265. No, I was just waiting for the conversation to die down.
With a considerate line here with rigor mortis setting in.
Very well. I guess you know all about Champ Waterford here, Vicky.
Well, certainly. You can't pick up a newspaper around here without seeing his slogans. See Champ Waterford, the dealer that lets you shuffle the deck. Don't be a chump, see the champ. Champ Waterford, everybody's motor-in-law.
Oh, now, wait, that's enough. I never thought it was as corny as you're making it sound.
Well, if corn can make you $2 million, that must be the grain I've been going against. But Vicky, my sweet, I wasn't asking if you'd heard of Champ in his more automotive aspects. He has other claims to fame.
Oh, yes, you must come up and see my trophies sometime, said the big, bad, bold wolf.
Now, don't be derisive, Champ. The trophies to which you refer with that modest sneer are important and well earned. Let's see now. All-American 3 times, intercollegiate boxing champion, still known among college swimmers as the Flying Fish, winner twice.
I think I'm beginning to see a little glimmer of light. Yeah, I'll let the boys in, William.
Yeah, thank you, darling. Look, Champ, here. Here's a fast summary of the situation.
Okay, Doctor.
Hello, boys.
Hello, Mrs. Hall.
Monsieur Dorsey and Clayton, I believe.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Dorsey, Mrs. Hall.
Rick Dorsey, well, you play the trumpet like an angel. And you're Potsy Clayton.
That's right.
A very fast man and attracts Susan, and also in getting into trouble, it seems. Yeah, well, come on, boys, come on. Considering your criminal records, I've locked up the silver and hidden away the egg money so you can just relax.
Hello there. Come in.
Hello, Dr. Hall.
William, this is Potsy Clayton of the crack team.
Ah,
And
certain.
the other gangster is Rick Dorsey, with an embouchure that Gabriel would love to have. Boys, this is Mr. Champ Waterford.
Hello, Mr. Waterford. You mean the Champ Waterford? The guy that used to keep the engravers working Sundays, putting his name on gold cups?
Yes, this is that Champ Waterford.
What's an embouchure, Mrs. Hall?
Well, it's a musical term, Mr. Waterford. Embouchure. It's the way a wind instrument player puckers up his lips. As they say around Union Hall, you got no embouchure, you got no nothing.
Well, I got no embouchure to speak of, but I'd like to play a short solo, gentlemen, that you may find full of discord. Now, let's not take this thing too lightly. You've been accused of some pretty serious, I won't say crimes, but misdemeanors. Hoodlumism, I believe, was the word used. Are you guilty as charged?
Yes, sir. I'm afraid so, sir. We came out of a bull session last night, sir, talking about this and that, the draft and everything, and nothing seemed to add up to very much for us right now. And, well,
I guess we sort of flipped our lids in town. I don't know. You get started on a tear like that and you keep going. Seems pretty childish now.
But it sure seemed the logical thing to do last night. We'll pay for the damage in the theater, Doctor.
Well, the actual damage, I understand, was negligible. $20 should cover that, but it's not the ice cream in the ticket chopper at the theater or the ripped-up seats I'm thinking of. It's whether or not the stains are removable. Personally, I don't think they go too deep.
Stains, sir?
What stains?
On your own record. Clayton, good student. Fine athlete, campus hero. You, Rick Dorsey, Musician extraordinary, excellent scholastically, popular personally, successful, future assured.
Stop the bus. Yeah, hold the phone.
What's all this?
That assured future. That's what fried our onions in the bull session last night. What future?
That was what pulled the trigger, sir. Here today, drafted tomorrow. Studying medicine today, back in 3 years with a tin arm. This is the future?
Yeah, who can concentrate? It isn't that we're afraid to go in the army or anywhere else, but this... Well, it's the uncertainty that gets us.
That's it, the uncertainty. Gee, I don't mind fighting. I guess I proved that last night. I took on 3 cops. Yeah, I was doing all right. But when you don't know where you'll be tomorrow, sir... Hey, does this sound awfully silly to you, sir?
It doesn't to me, Clayton. In fact, I can listen to you and hear myself back in 1918. You think you've got a complaint? You should have heard me gripe. Uncle Sam yanked his nephew right out of his senior year.
You and Mr. Waterfield? What happened?
Oh, they nailed me, Mrs. Hall. I was a famous athlete, so they made me a motorcycle messenger.
Well, what happened after, Mr. Waterford? You go back to school?
No, not right away. I worked for 3 years and then went back and took my degree.
Worked at what, sir?
A publishing house, French translations. Got interested in languages over in France and did a lot of boning up in the hospital.
Well, you were wounded, too, Mr. Waterford?
Oh, yes, I got the full treatment. Well, I've really got to be going, Doctor, Mrs. Hall. Got to take my wife out dancing and to dinner tonight with a bunch of the Chamber of Commerce boys. National Restaurant Week, you know.
Well, taking the family out to dine is a good old American custom.
Yeah, what you might call the red, white, and blue plate special.
Boys?
Yes, sir?
I'm leaving you in wiser hands than mine, Dr. Hall. But think of this. You got into a battle with the authorities last night after some pretty loud criticism on the way things are run in this country. Has it occurred to you that there are places where if you take the government with a grain of salt, they let you dig it the rest of your short life? You're looking for real certainties. There's a real one. Good night, everybody. Don't get up, Mrs. Hall.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, Sam.
Good night, sir.
So long.
Good night.
Is there a small hole in the floor around here that some mouse is not using?
Dr. Hall, Champ Waterford, I noticed he limped. Was that from...
Oh, yes. Yes, his left leg is aluminum.
He's taking his wife dancing tonight. I can see why he's always been a champ.
Yeah, we're champs, too, with a little variation in the spelling. Dr. Hall, Riff and I'm sorry we caused so much trouble. I guess we looked a little more important to ourselves than we really are.
Dr. Hall, would you like to give us each a few swift kicks before we go?
No, Riff, no. The world will be my deputy in the pants-kicking department. You'll get plenty. And I'm glad Champ Waterford happened to be here tonight. Catching cold, Victoria?
No, not cold. Just arms.
Well, as I was saying, gentlemen, Champ Waterford, by simply being what he is, says far better than I could that it's hard to find certainties. If the world could but step back and look at its own idiocies, it would... Where have I heard that phrase?
From you at breakfast, dear.
Oh, yes. Well, anyway, gentlemen, to switch metaphors in the middle of a thought, space travel being so far undeveloped by humans, we are forced to live together on one small planet. More confining than that, we each have to live with ourselves. I think that's the main thing you'll have to remember. That when you live with yourself, you have a roommate in very crowded quarters. So, mind your manners.
The beer that made Milwaukee famous. More people like the taste of Schlitz than any other beer. That's why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce Mr. Harry A. Bullis, Vice President of the Chamber of Commerce of the United States and Chairman of the Board of General Mills. Mr. Bullis.
applause of this 39th annual dinner audience here in the Mayflower Hotel is more eloquent than anything I might say. However, we would like Mr. and Mrs. Coleman, the stars, Mr. Don Quinn, the creator, and the Joseph Flitz Brewing Company, the sponsor of the Halls of Ivy, to take something of a permanent character with them. Something that we hope will encourage the continuance of the contributions they are making to American life. The Chamber of Commerce has much in common with this program. We believe in developing all media of transmitting ideas between employee and employer, between businessmen and educators, farmers, and all other segments of the society. We are working for higher standards, a better system to tell the truth to more people. If we are to succeed in this effort, all of us must acquire a better understanding of the problems met by everybody in that field, be they members of a college faculty or the teacher in the one-room schoolhouse. So, we have felt it appropriate on this occasion to present this citation, which I shall now read to you. Because the Halls of Ivy is not only splendid entertainment, but also because it imparts to the American people a better understanding of the honorable profession of teaching, and is thus contributing to the culture welfare of the country, we of the Chamber of Commerce cite this program for merit. Mr. and Mrs. Coleman and Mr. Quinn, won't you please come forward and receive this citation?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bullitt. Thank you.
For more gay times, hear the Great Gildersleeve on NBC.
With Fred's guest, Leo Durocher, starring in the Brooklyn Centerfour. Corporal Hopper, Minerva Pius as Mrs. Nussbaum, Alan Reed as Falstaff Openshaw, Parker Fenley as Titus Moody, the DeMarco sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And if you look on Senator Craghorn's birth certificate, you'll find my name, Kenny Delmar. This past week, ladies and gentlemen, all New York has been flocking to the National Aviation Show. Tonight we can't bring you one of the Wright brothers, so we bring you a wrong guy. And here he is, Fred Allen.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And Kenny, I heard you accidentally happened to be in the vicinity and heard you mention the aviation show. Now, I didn't know you were so keenly interested in air, Kenny.
Oh, yes, Fred, I breathe it.
You do, really? Well, don't breathe too much of it around here. I have to live, too, you know. You know, I meant to tell you before, they had some wonderful new planes at the aviation show. One jet propulsion model travels faster than sound.
Yeah, well, why should anyone want to travel faster than sound?
Well, to get away from the Jack Benny program, for one thing. And there may be thousands of people who are... Well, Portland, I haven't heard Lowell Thomas lately. What's new?
Frank Sinatra went up to the UN meeting last Tuesday.
Oh, the UN meeting? I guess Frankie wanted to explain harmony to the delegates up there. Frankie must have caused some talk.
Yes, the Russian delegate looked at Frankie.
What did the Russian delegate say? He was there that day, huh? What did the Russian delegate say when he looked at Frankie?
Take some of the food you are going to send us and give it to this boy.
Tell me, Portland, what else is in the news?
Oh, they had an accident at the circus.
Really? What happened?
You know the man who was shot out of the cannon across the arena?
Yeah?
They shot off the cannon, and the man only came out a little way.
You mean?
He was half shot.
Well, that does it, Portland. Speaking of being half shot, reminds me of the Lost Weekend. And one way to lose a weekend is to spend it in Allen's Alley.
Have you a question, Ron?
It'd be a short program if I have it. During the past... During the past week, Portland, Mayor O'Dwyer and the city police have arrested hundreds of bookmakers and pinball machine operators. And so our question tonight is, what is your reaction to this new drive on gamblers and gambling?
Shall we go?
As the ship said when it was hit with the champagne bottle, I'm on my way. On my way, I guess. It's so restful down here in Allen's Alley, Portland. The senator's home all right. Look, there's a peanut oil lamp burning in his window. Now, let's knock.
Somebody knock.
Yes, I know.
Claghorn's the name, Senator Claghorn.
I know your name.
I got a story for you tonight, son.
What story?
That's about the Southern cannibal. She divorced her husband. He was always eating Georgia crackers in bed.
You in the South. What about the North?
There ain't no North, son.
No North?
It's just that one place ain't as far south as another place.
What about Canada, Montreal?
Canada was discovered by a Southerner, son.
Yeah.
Montreal was originally called Montreal.
Now, look, Senator.
Oh, we said I was in the land of country.
Wait a minute, wait.
Prostrate yourself, son. I'm singing the national anthem.
Now, wait a minute. What about my question? What about this gambling business?
We have plenty of gambling games in the South. There's a cotton gin rummy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Black-eyed pinochle. Southern Bridge.
What is Southern Bridge?
There's only 3 players. No. You can't play poker in Texas without kibitzers.
If you start a game of poker?
The eyes of Texas are upon you.
Well, what about this gambling here in New York City?
Northern gamblers only gambling to get a free trip to the South.
You mean if they're arrested?
They'll get 20 years in Atlanta. DA, that is.
Well, the senator sure isn't fine fettle tonight. Well, let's see what Mr. Moody is up to.
Howdy, Bub.
Tell me, a new trend in radio, exhaling, is getting applause now. You can come to the microphone and prove you're alive at something. Tell me, Mr. Moody, what about this gambling drive?
Oh, just going to New York is a gamble.
Well, how do you mean?
Every time I go to New York, I get my pocket picked.
Really?
Yeah. First time I went to New York, a fellow says, "Psst, Rube."
Yeah?
Called me into a dark doorway.
A dark doorway?
Yeah. He was selling neon jackknives for night whittling.
For night whittling, huh? And you bought a jackknife?
Yeah. When I stepped out of the doorway, my pocket was picked.
Well, did you come to New York again?
Yeah. Next time I was playing a pinball machine on Broadway.
Uh-huh.
I won.
Yeah.
Bells started ringing.
Yes.
A picture of Admiral Dewey lit up.
Yes.
Guns started shooting off.
Yeah.
A blinding flash went off in my face. I couldn't see nothing for 20 minutes.
And when you could see?
I looked in my pocket. It was picked again.
Well, didn't you try to get even?
Yeah. Next time I come to New York, I put a big fish hook in my pocket.
A fish hook? And what happened?
When I got home, my money was gone.
Yes?
In my pocket, on the fish hook, was a flounder.
Well, I guess that finished you with New York, Mr. Moody.
No, sir. I went again last week. I was prepared.
Yeah?
I cut the bottoms off all my pockets.
Ah, pickpockets didn't get anything this time, eh?
They didn't, eh?
You mean someone reached in through one of your bottomless pockets?
Yeah, they must have. Because when I got home...
Yeah?
My underwear was gone.
Well, at least Mr. Moody gave us the bare facts. Oh, well. Let's try this next door here.
No?
Ah, Mrs. Nussbaum.
You are expecting maybe Jinx Falkenstein.
Tell me, Mrs. Ann, what is your reaction to this gambling drive?
It is is my favorite wish that ultimately law and order should prevail.
Well spoken, Mrs. Nussbaum. And tell me, why are you so against gambling?
Because my husband, Pierre, is unlucky.
Unlucky, huh?
If it is raining borscht outside, Pierre will be standing with a fork. He will also missing the potato.
Say, Pierre is unlucky.
Last week at the racetrack, he is losing everything.
Well, what happened?
For 3 nights, every night, Pierre is having the same dream.
The same to what dream?
On a plate, he is seeing salami, bologna, and liverwurst.
Salami, bologna, and liverwurst.
One day at the track is running 3 horses named Salami, Bologna, and Liverwurst.
Just what he'd seen in his dream.
By Pierre, this is a hunt. He is betting everything.
And on the day of the race?
Coming in last, the dead heat, is Salami, Bologna, and Liverwurst.
Well, what horse won?
A long shot by the name Cold Cut.
Leaves us this little chromium Quonset hut at the end of the alley. I hate to think what a knock here is going to start.
6 cents at all, Gloria Monday. Falstaff says, so you know it's Sunday.
Merry Man Openshaw. You have new poems up your tattered sleeve?
Oh, yea, sire. Have you heard? Mother gave father a withering look when she finished the first chapter of Errol Flynn's book.
Now, wait a minute. Never mind those tired titles tonight. We're discussing the gambling drive here in New York City.
Precisely why I confront you.
I get it. And what is your gaming poem called?
One word I have for gamblers.
One word. How does it go?
One word I have for gamblers. I'll shout as is my wont. The word I have for gamblers is, if you feel like gambling, don't.
That was a shrunken version of Some Sunday Morning, just an hour or two, played by Maestro Al Goodman and his Swing and Sway We're from Avenue A Orchestra. And now, say, Portland.
Yes?
Did you bring the pitcher of water I spoke to you about?
You dropped 4 pictures already. How did you get so thirsty?
Well, I'll tell you. Last night, I had a yen for some chili con carne. I left the house and started out to look for one of those Mexican lunchrooms. On 6th Avenue, I finally found a place, Sloppy Miguel's. On the door, it said chili, tamales, and enchiladas. And in the window, there was a little plaque. It said, Tito Gazar slept here. As I opened the door, I heard the Mexican chef arguing with a customer at the counter. The chef was saying,
Please, what do you say, senor?
I said no, amigo, and that's final. Leo Durocher. Leo, what's the trouble?
Oh, it's nothing, Fred. I came into this joint to get a bowl of chili.
Yeah?
And this guy wants to sign me up for the Mexican League.
He wants you to play baseball in Mexico?
No, he wants me to sell hot tamales in the grandstand.
Oh, fine.
He says all I have to do is holler chili in the middle and Tabasco on top.
Well, down in Mexico, the fans probably throw tequila bottles.
Tequila? I'd love to give those guys a Mickey.
Well, you did, Leo. You look wonderful, Leo. Healthy and tan from training down there in Florida.
Oh, it was great, Fred. They love me in the South.
In the South? How do you mean?
You know me, Fred. My mouth always going.
Yeah?
Well, they thought I was Senator Claghorn.
No kidding.
Every time one of the Dodgers hit a home run,
yeah,
the fans all yell, "That's the Pope, son."
But tell me, Leo, what is the outlook for the baseball fan this year?
Fred, I honestly think this season is going to be one of the greatest in baseball history.
Well, how does it look in the National League?
Oh, it's going to be close, Fred. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs will be fighting it out nip and tuck for second place.
Second place? Who will be in first place?
Are you kidding?
You mean the Dodgers are a cinch for the pennant?
Oh, we may lose a game or two, but that's baseball.
You got one more to to go after the test. But, Leo, I've been reading that some of your Brooklyn players are out with injuries.
Yes, this spring I have plenty of headaches.
You see, it's the same thing every year, Leo. You have nothing but troubles and worries. Why don't you give up baseball?
What could I do?
Well, you're a born showman, Leo. You belong on the stage. Now, last fall, when you sang the Brooklyn Pinafore on our program, you were a sensation.
I was really good?
Good. We have received hundreds of letters from music lovers. 2 fan clubs have left Lawrence Tibbett. They're all asking us to have you sing it again.
No kidding. Say, there may be something to this canary racket at that. How did that opera go again, Fred?
Well, first, there was a big announcement. The Brooklyn Pinafore, starring Leo Durocher.
I remember.
The first scene, as you remember, is the bleachers at Ebbets Field. It's the big game between the Giants and the Dodgers. Brooklyn rooters are sitting around in their underwear. Ushers are running up and down the aisles with rocks looking for Giant fans. Peddlers are going through the stands selling raw meat on sticks for the kiddies. And as the curtain rises, we have the opening. The bleachers sing...
We go bottles from the stand, and when soda's hot, we're wiping. When the Dodgers are lost, we start blowing our tops. To the Giants, we'll never yield. When the Bucks finally score, we head loose with our roar. To the rafters of Ebbets Field. Ahoy, ahoy, them boys. We're loyal to our Dodgers, ahoy.
The Dodger team runs out on the field. The stands break into a cheer. Flatfoot, speed fight, thorough, oh! Who's the team with something on the ball? Dodgers! Dodgers! D-O-J-E-R-S! And then, Leo, you run out of the dugout.
I come on?
Yes. You stand right near home plate. Now, the rest of the team kneels around you in a semicircle. The infielders have lavender bats. The outfielders have mandolins with pussy willow picks. The crowd quiets down as you step up to the microphone and sing.
I am the captain of the Dodger team,
and a right good captain he.
I am quiet and subdued, and they say a little crude, but I frighten rather easily.
He is quiet and subdued, and they say a little crude, but he frightens rather easily.
Bad language and abuse I never use. No one do I intentionally hurt, though heavens I may occasionally say, I never call an umpire jerk.
What, never?
No, never.
What, never?
Well, hardly ever.
He never calls an umpire jerk. So give a cheer and give a shout for the Dodger captain with a big loud mouth. So give a cheer and give a shout for the Dodger captain with a big loud mouth.
Was great, Leo. If Perry Como is listening in, he'll never know another good night's sleep.
Well, what happens next, Fred?
Well, next, Leo, comes your big love scene. The game starts, and as you're standing in front of the dugout, something hits you on the ear.
A pop bottle?
No, Leo. It's a rose. Someone has thrown a rose.
At Ebbets Field?
Well, this is a fantasy, Leo. Well, you look up, and there she stands, the beautiful mystery girl. She speaks.
It was me that threw you the rose, Leo.
Mystery girl. Mystery girl, you're back.
Yeah, Leo. I come to wish you luck against the Giants.
You bring a message, fair one?
Yeah, Leo. Go out and murder them frogs!
Mystery girl, I cannot conceal my love for you any longer.
Please, Leo.
You don't love me?
Love you, Lippy. I'm carrying... Why, I'm carrying a torch for you that could light up 2 night games.
then why won't you marry me?
You gotta get me old man's okay, and that's gonna be tough.
Well, who is your father? Mystery girl, who are you?
You wanna know who I am? Okay, I'll tell you. I'm called Little Bobby Socks, sweet Little Bobby Socks. My heart for you, Lippy, could voice. Before you make me your mate, let's get this one fact straight. Frankie Sinatra comes first. I'm sweet little Bobby Socks, dear little Bobby Socks, but I'm not getting younger, you see. Too long I have tarried, but since Frankie's married, it's Lippy Durocher for me.
That love scene will make people forget Mr. Anthony and Cleopatra. Wallace, Beery, and Lassie couldn't have done it any better. Well, what's the next scene, Fred? It's the big climax, Leo. Now get this picture. It's the last of the ninth inning. 2 men are out. The crowd is going crazy. You step up to the plate. I'm the umpire behind the plate. In the distance, we hear Red Barber over the loudspeaker saying... Safe a mile. Quiet, you. I'll knock you flatter than your singing voice. Oh, yeah? Well, I'll slap your head up into a point and then I'll round it off. Yes, says who? Says me. Why, I'll pull that big tongue of yours out so far, you'll think you're wearing a red muffler. Your father's mustache. Hey, your sister's sideburn. Your grandma's goatee. Hey, your aunt's kitchen for Philadelphia. Said you're out, the game is over, and the Dodgers lose. Oh, yeah? I'll beat your brains out. Give me that bat.
Oh, see.
Little Bobby Socks. You.
Put down the bat, Lippy.
But it's only Cockeye Allen, the umpire.
He is also your future father-in-law.
Mystery girl, you mean?
Cockeye Allen's my old man.
What's the meaning of this, daughter, Bobby Socks?
Leo wants to marry me, Cockeye.
Yeah?
Don't you, Leo?
Me marry an umpire's daughter? They'll throw me out of who's who.
Lippy, you'll forgive Cockeye, won't you, Lippy?
Well, if you say so, Bobby Socks. Shake hands, Cockeye. At last an umpire hears a kind word in Brooklyn. You know, I may be an umpire, Leo, but I ain't really a bad guy. I know, Cockeye. But with those thick glasses, how did you ever become an umpire? Come over close where I can feel you, Lippy, and I'll tell you. When I was a lad, I could not see a hand held up in front of me. In spite of how I squint and peer, I couldn't tell my father from my mother, dear. My eyes were oh so very, very weak that now I am an umpire in the National League. His eyes were oh so very, very weak that now he is an umpire in the National League. As the years went by, I grew up a schnook. My eyes were so bad I couldn't read a book. The army took me, but they sent me back. I tried to kiss the general because I thought he was a whack. I'm still half blind with no physique. That's why I am an umpire in the National League. He's still half blind with no physique. That's why he is an umpire in the National League. As an umpire, I gained great fame. I called a player out who wasn't in the game. Another decision which you may have heard, I'm the guy who made Greenberg stay on third. My life is a failure, I'm up the creek. That's why I'm an umpire in the National League. His life is a failure, he's up the creek. That's why I am an umpire in the National League. There's a happy ending, Leo. I give you permission to marry my daughter, Bobby Socks, and the entire ensemble joins in the big finale.
and Bill and Coo.
But before you take her hand, you must first understand I'll get no more lip from you. Swear never, no never, oh, up never, well, hardly ever. My lip I will button up when you say batter up. Even though games you will rob, I'll be ever discreet, so tender, so sweet, and soon I'll be out of a job. So give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the Dodger captain who won't cross no more. So give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for this concludes our
That Allen Show next week will have Cedric Hardwick as guest. This is the United Network.